as a French tourist who was participating in the International Festival of Saharan Cultures and is believed to have gone missing in the town of Amjaras, situated in the northeastern region of Chad. According to the mayor of Amjaras, this tourist went missing during a hiking excursion after straying from their group. Search efforts are actively being conducted to locate the individual, who has been unaccounted for since the previous evening. And former U.S. President Barack Obama has slated the current President Donald Trump for revoking the basis of much of America's climate legislation. It related to the scientific finding that carbon emissions endanger human health. Obama says without his administration's endangerment finding, Americans are less healthy and cannot fight climate change. The move is likely to face legal challenges, the BBC's Simi Jaloso reports.
But now that President Trump has done this repeal, we can expect a flurry of lawsuits from NGOs, non-profits, green groups, states, and even individuals, even at the state court level. And it might be exactly what the presidency wants, because if any case makes it to the Supreme Court and the repeal is supported by the Supreme Court, well, that would mean that in future, any regulation couldn't be brought forward without new legislation being put in place.
A recap of your top story. African heads of state and government will meet in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia for the 39th ordinary session of the African Union Assembly. The summit occurs against a backdrop of global fragmentation, weakened multilateral cooperation and rising conflicts. For any news stories you'd like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +2711 714 4459. For Channel Africa News, I am Matapela Mahape.
SABC News. The African Perspective. On the Move with Benjamin and Palesa every weekday on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It's that time for On the Move. Hey, happy World Radio Day, everyone.
Hey.
Welcome right here on Channel Africa. I think if you're a Channel Africa listener, then you do love your radio, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to be having a very much World Radio Day centered show right here on the Move today. We've got so many conversations, and we're going to start with the theme of the day that was under the banner of UNESCO, saying that today we are looking at radio and artificial intelligence. Are you surprised by that, Bali?
No, not at all. I mean, artificial intelligence is in every single thing these days. So it's no wonder as radio we have to think how we've incorporated, or what challenges it brings to this industry.
Yeah, hopefully our voices won't be AI one day. But then we move into our second hour. We continue with the theme, and we'll be crossing over to one of our sister stations right here on the SABC. We'll be hanging out with the guys at Ikwekwezi FM,
Yes.
and we'll be continuing the conversations on how they are planning this day, how they're celebrating this day, and of course the theme AI on the air will continue to be a conversation.
Huge surprise in the final hour of the show. They've just dropped a brand new EP, legendary Kwaito group, Trumpis.
Yeah, no, but today we didn't wear our bucket hats.
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't wear our Chuck Taylors. We're taking it easy today. I'm sure the guys will do it themselves.
Absolutely. And you can join us in the next 3 hours here on The Move, streaming live on our Facebook and our YouTube page, Channel Africa 1. And of course, that's all on all our social media platforms. Let's go. We are on The Move. There's going to be a lot of fun today.
Stay in touch on World Radio Day and keep in touch with us. You can wish us a World Radio Day on our WhatsApp number +27 83 288 684. This is Channel Africa. Let's go enjoy World Radio Day.
Benjamin Moshatama and Palesa on the Move.
I want to dance. I want to party. Who's too much? Baby, shake your body, 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 body. Baby, move your body, 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 body.
Make it day one side, make it just stay rock, make it just stay traboski. Our bodies touch, my money is long, my team is long. Follow me after the party to where you belong. I want to show you what you never seen before. I want to do what I never do before. I want to dance. I want to dance. I want to party. On se good slow much. Let me shake your body, 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 no send anybody. Baby, move your body, 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 no send anybody.
Yo, give me that say you arrest me. We don't smoke us, pull up, it's your backy. The thing there, it's your backy. Shena Kana, it's your back bag. Behind me. We don't say walk, walk, walk. Touch your body, hold still up. Now I want your body, I want my cut. Cut so, baby, cut so. I want watch this, I want fast this. I want drop your body. Your body not its spot.
Hey, keeping things bubbly right there is CK with one titled Body. We're about to speak World Radio Day right here on Channel Africa. Things have evolved in the radio industry, but much of it has stayed the same. And are we challenged by that artificial intelligence frontier? Because, there's some people who say, Ben, one day your voice will only be a sample. It's probably that your voice won't be needed as much. They'll just be paying you 1% of what you get paid right now, because very soon you'll be able just to conjure up voices and listen to things that are basically prompted by us who are in the background, but the main operator or the main voice will be probably a machine. Should we be cautious, or should we just go ahead with artificial intelligence? We'll chat about that after the break.
Stella Longwe pamalonje.
Apa ndikatswiri oyimba wa dziko la Zambia amene ndi Isaac Zulu Isaac. Apa pali nyimbo imene munayimba yomwe ikuti Manda Ambeta. Nyimbo imene imakamba zotani?
Nyimbo imeneyi ndinayimba zona ndikuchoka pasi pa mtima kama kakuona ma situation yena amene amachitika makamaka kukhala chikulisa achinyamata kapena azibambo tita azibambo. So kambiri chimapezeka kuti azibambo bena aliko amene amakhala ndi mitima ankhanza osadziwa mosamalira banja kuti wachikondi wanga ndifuna kukhala naye mnjira yotani kuti moyo wake ukhale wosangalala. Ndino zimafika pena zoti mwina wachimayi walemedwa nazo nkhanza za munthu wachimuna kapena kuti abambo okhala nawo pa nyumba. Ena amafika pa mtima pokamba mawu kuti ine munthu amuna anga pondikwatira ananditenga ku makolo sanatenge m'munsi mwa mtengo. Ndino nisafe chifukwa cha chikondi. Kulibe manda ambeta ngakhale tapita ku manda wina akafa munthu wokwatira kapena osakwatiwa sipamalembeka kuti apa pafa munthu amene sadalepo mbanja.
Thengatu wamphamvu kuti iyayi azibambo azisamalira bwino akazi osachitira nkhanza komanso azimayemera kuona mazunzo iyayi kulibe manda ambeta.
Malonje pa nthawi ya 6 koloko kufikira 7 koloko madzulo. Lowiruka ndi Stella Longwe. From analog to digital, from airwaves to algorithms, radio's journey continues. Happy World Radio Day on Channel Africa, the African perspective. Get set and be ready to go. On the Move with Palesa and Benjamin Moshatama.
Hey, today marks World Radio Day. As radio people, we are very excited. We love this medium. It's a day that recognizes radio as one of the most powerful and accessible mediums in the world. Now, this year's got an interesting theme. We were debating it with our guest today. Is it relevant for the African continent, this theme, or is it leaving Africa behind? UNESCO has given us the theme Radio and Artificial Intelligence, highlighting the role of AI in broadcasting, and it aims to foster discussions of how artificial intelligence relates to radio practices. For many stations, AI is improving efficiency and expanding reach, but it also raises questions about skills, ethics, and the future of on-air talent? I did ask you that question earlier on. I mean, do you think you'll be okay with just listening to an automated voice, right? Today we're joined by Dr. Sanele Gamete, who is a lecturer in the Communications and Media Department. And we're going to be chatting to the doctor around what's going on here when we have to deal with, artificial intelligence. Doctor, welcome on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. Good morning to you guys and your listeners. And you look fabulous.
Thank you.
And happy World Radio Day.
Thank you.
It's quite an amazing day.
Yeah.
I love radio.
Yes.
My master's and my PhD was on radio and was on SAPC.
Oh, great.
Particularly. So I'm a radio through and through. I'm
love
excited. I told my first year yesterday
Yeah.
they should be listening to radio. And of course, they laughed at me.
Yeah.
Doctor, it's a very wonderful medium for us as an African continent. But we know it is wonderful for us as Africa because it's easily accessible. Radio hasn't come to a point in Africa where you have to get a mobile device to have access. You can still switch on that radio set that you have at home and listen and get information. It's still a bit in that point, but I think that point is still important. So, and some people might say, Nina, you're a little bit behind in Africa.
Yeah.
But it's such a powerful medium because we are still behind.
I think it is one of the most still relevant medium, very important medium for many African communities. I think sometimes because now we live in the AI and technology and social media, we're thinking just because you can text someone in the UK just now, you're thinking you're living there where they are.
Yeah.
Some communities still rely on radio. So radio is still the trusted medium, and it's still important that we still have the radio sets because people do switch on the radio set, the old one, to listen to you guys, and they're benefiting. So in the age of AI and technology, radio is still relevant and it's here to stay. That's my argument.
Yeah. There's a phrase that we've been hearing for many decades now. Radio is dead. Long live radio. And throughout so many medias that have come into play, television and then social media, people are like, radio's dying now. And then it doesn't. And then, okay, this time for sure it's dying, and then it doesn't. Now the podcasts are here. Definitely it was dying. No, it's not. AI is here as well. It's like, is there really a need for this? But we've proved, I think, for so many of those, misconceptions that we are here to stay. And there's a very good reason for that. It's because, like we said, the accessibility here on the continent. But let's speak about AI in particular.
Okay.
It's taking over each and every industry.
Yeah.
How does it take over, or how does it impact us as radio broadcasters?
So we can't deny the fact that AI is there. And as you said, it is changing the game for many people, and for the better and for the worse. Yeah. So with radio, what I have seen, you guys like myself, you need to research. Yeah. You need to get information quicker. There are radio stations who have set up and automated some things that were done by a human being. AI has made it possible for the machine to set up either an advert that it plays automatically or something cues in automatically without having someone physically there. So that is great. That's what AI is doing when it comes to radio. But at the same time, in radio, I think you guys are still needed.
Yeah.
He was worried. He was worried.
Ben is scared. He's like, hey, are you sure?
He was worried. You might have a situation where an AI person is here. We have seen that, especially with television, where someone doesn't need to be there. They've just created you, but you are not there. Yeah. And this thing is reading news.
Yes.
But with radio, I think you guys will still be around, because that is not happening, especially in Africa, where we are still struggling with AI. In fact, I didn't hear the president talking about money for the SAPC.
So don't remind us.
Talking about AI in South Africa, in the SAPC, I think think we need the manifest before we can start having that conversation.
You know, artificial intelligence and radio on the African continent is an interesting conversation to have. Because as much as artificial intelligence is used in our industry, it's not as entrenched like in many other countries in the global north, right?
Yes.
Do you think this theme is relevant for radio in Africa?
I was wondering why does UNESCO kind of put us in an umbrella? Is it trying to say you should be there, SABC?
Yeah.
It could be that UNESCO is saying, by the way, radio in the world, you should be there by now. Then it's a wake-up call. But I also feel they're putting pressure on everyone by this umbrella approach, because literally I have been in Kenya, I've been in Malawi, I've spoken on radio in Zimbabwe, in Mozambique. I will tell you without blinking, this idea of AI, automation is still not there. Probably for some, you guys are doing well, by the way.
Sure.
For some broadcasters, I've been to Lesotho and I walk into the national broadcaster there and I was like, what is happening here? They were like, yes, we are live. So when you speak about AI in those environments in Africa, I feel like you are just putting us under pressure. You are just making us overwhelmed, feel like we are left out. And what is going to happen is we are going to neglect what I pointed out in my paper that I published last year, answering that question to say radio is dying. I said in that paper, radio is not dying. If we don't change our approach, we will lose relevance. We won't die, but we need, I spoke on public participation in public service radio stations such as the SABC. So we are not going anywhere. AI, yes, it's there, but in the global south, we are still facing so many challenges.
All right, Dr. Sanele, let's take a bit of a break and explore these themes on where do we need to go. I mean, I know that you've looked at how the broadcaster has evolved over time, but also its significance in public broadcasting. And off air, we were just speaking about how in the global north, public broadcasting is something that's very much invested into in a major way, especially when things are shifting on social media, things are shifting on the Internet of Things, and now we have artificial intelligence that's becoming centered in many of our lives. As we see that evolution of radio, what must we do as Africa to be on par, especially when it comes to public broadcasting? We'll deal with those themes after the break.
From local studios to cross-border conversations, from traditional broadcasting to artificial intelligence, radio has always connected people. This Radio Day on Channel Africa. Join us for a special collaboration when On the Move crosses to Ikwekwezi FM from 9 till 12. And The Upside connects with Kulumani FM from Zimbabwe from 1 till 4 p.m. Central African Time as they talk about the evolution of radio. This World Radio Day, it's radio and AI, honoring where we come from and embracing where we are going. Channel Africa, the African perspective.
9 to 12 midday, Central African Time.
On the Move with Palesa and Benjamin Moshatama.
It's an incredible day today. It's World Radio Day. And UNESCO has themed this radio and artificial intelligence. And we're speaking to exactly that with Dr. Sanele Gamede, lecturer in the Communications and Media Department at the University of Johannesburg, helping us unpack what AI and radio play a role in each other in this day and age on the African continent. Well, let's speak about it now. In a practical way, how, broadcasters, on-air personnel, producers can use AI to continue the work that they do, which really at its essence is to inform people, especially in the public domain, right? To inform people, to entertain people, and to make sure that they are up to date with what's going on the continent. How does AI play a role in this?
I think what is needed is, I was even thinking of asking, have you guys been to a workshop on prompting? as radio broadcaster.
No, actually.
Because that's where it starts. Understanding AI and how it works, and how to prompt, how it shapes your industry personally. Because I don't want you, like I said, to be overwhelmed by this conversation, whereas you don't know how it touches your own industry. Now you need to then learn how to prompt. Now you need the software. So Africa needs to firstly understand this phenomenon, this giant thing that is taking over, and everyone is agreeing that it is there to stay and it's going to take over. So then we move to infrastructure, because we then need to change these computers so that we have those that are enhanced to hold these machinery, and we then move to budgeting, making sure that there is availability of money to maintain these infrastructures and make sure that you guys don't lose your jobs. And we then speak of the issue of ethics, which we could speak about it earlier though, to say, guys, this is where we are moving. What is the impact when it comes to disinformation, for example? Because with AI, I like you guys because it's hard. I mean, on the clips that we watch on Facebook, on TikTok, we don't know whether
which one is AI,
which one is
real,
and which one is real. But with radio, I know Ben is here.
Yes.
I mean, I can hear your voice.
Absolutely.
Although people can now have a song. I heard on Ukoze FM the other day. AI music.
And
like,
all you have to do is just prompt that app, and then it will just formulate a song just by you giving it a sample of your voice. So that just shows you where we're going. So I'm not so far-fetched. You know what I mean, Doctor?
So it's justified for you to be scared.
It's justified. But Doctor, let's come to public broadcasting, because that's one of my favorite things to talk about when it comes to this day. And we were speaking about it off air around how Africa is slowly losing a grasp of the investment in public broadcasting. But what we see in the global north, those comparisons are important, right? There's a huge investment, and there is an awareness that media is more powerful than it's ever been.
There is the notion that is going out there, especially in the Western countries, where if a country invests in its public broadcasting, it sounds like anti-democracy. It sounds like the ruling party will then misuse the public service broadcast. It's not. In fact, we need a public service broadcaster. The SAPC is very, very important, and it is an injustice not to have so much investment going in a service broadcaster, because that's where we get educational material, that's where the country is informed, and that's where you can see a balance, because someone who's running a private broadcaster could say, no, I don't have to play your song, because
different interests.
My interest is not in empowering you local musicians and all of that. So a public service broadcaster will cater all of that, and will have a balance in what we see on air and what we hear on radio. So it is very important, and that's why I was actually disappointed when I didn't hear the president speak about the budget. And I'm waiting for the Minister of Finance to I mean, you guys wanted just a few rands.
Just a few rands. You know, just a little bit here and there.
Don't say it out loud. Mina, I'm not going to be fired. You guys, but you guys, you are just wanting a few rands. It's not much compared to the amazing work that you guys are doing.
You know, the reason why radio works is that it's personal. It speaks to the person. It speaks to the individual, and that's what also holds the power of this particular medium. Unlike other mediums who speak to the mass, radio makes sure that you feel like you have a personal relationship with what's going on here, but what's going on the continent as well. And sometimes when we maybe in Zulu, or is it Zulu, when people say uyagagamela, right? You're taking things too fast, and you're adapting things too quickly. How do we not use AI right now in radio?
I don't know if I will say you guys shouldn't use it.
Yes.
To a certain extent, I
Yes.
will say use, especially when it comes to research,
Yes.
making sure that things are verified quicker. As I'm speaking to you about something, you're thinking, oh,
Yeah.
this is a
I
very
can
nice,
verify that
interesting
now.
point. I can just go to this platform and check,
Sure.
this idea. So you can, but I don't want you to further, because you guys are holding the center. Already the digital divide is there, and people in remote areas are feeling it.
Yeah.
And you guys are holding the center for them. Imagine if you now move away to automation, because with automation comes with maintaining financially the systems that we now have, which means we are now more focused on who is paying us and paying us to do what. And then we start catering our conversation and we start our programming to switch to suit whoever is paying the bills.
Yeah.
Whereas as we are right now, we can balance that. So I'm saying, as radio, the SAPC, let's play a balance. Let's introduce this nice technology. We need to see how it advances, but let us not kakamela, as you said.
Yes, right.
All right,
Leave other
Doctor.
people behind.
Yes,
Now,
yes.
unfortunately, we've run out of time.
Yeah.
But as a wrap up for today's day, what would you like to send as a message of the day to our listeners around the importance of radio?
So I will go back to how to keep radio alive is public participation.
Okay.
I will say to all our listeners, if you think radio is dying and you are concerned, be involved, be part of radio, listen to radio, comment on radio, shape the programming, tell the guys on Channel Africa to say, I would love you guys to have this conversation.
Yes.
In fact, that's what I saw on my PhD when I was analyzing. I saw that there was a lot of influence in terms of public saying, can we have these? So I am calling upon the young generation as well to never listen to people who are saying radio has died and you don't have to. Please listen to radio. There is so much that is happening here. It's actually nice. We have young, amazing people who are steering this show, which means radio is still relevant.
We are the young, amazing people,
Yes.
by the way.
Absolutely.
Benjamin.
Viva to that.
That is Dr. Sanele Kamete, lecturer at the Communications and Media Department at the University of Johannesburg, as we put together the conversations of World Radio Day, radio and AI. How do you think AI would be shaping the world of radio, especially if it's one of your favorite mediums? Let us know on +27 83 6684. It's 9:30 Central Africa time. Let's get our latest sports news.
Sports on Channel Africa.
The African Perspective.
And it's a very good morning from the sports desk. I am Mosibu Dimakura with your latest sports news at the Sawa. So the stage is set for a decisive weekend in the Total Energies CAF Champions League, a match day 6, bringing the group phase to a dramatic end. Now, with the top 2 teams in each pool then advancing to the quarterfinals, only 3 of the 8 knockout places have been confirmed, leaving 5 tickets still to be claimed across the continent this weekend. So the defending champions, Pyramids FC of Egypt, Arika champions Al Ahly of Egypt, as well as history-making Stade Milan of Mali, have already secured progression to the quarterfinals. For the rest, qualification will be determined this weekend. In Group A, Pyramids FC sit comfortably at the summit with about 13 points and will host Power Dynamos of Zambia, knowing their place is already secured. The real battle is for second spot, with RS Berkane of Morocco as well as Power Dynamos are level on 7 points, while Berkane will welcome the already eliminated Rivers United of Nigeria and will need a victory to guarantee their qualification. Power Dynamos must better Berkane's result to advance, as they are behind the Moroccan side on head-to-head. Meanwhile, Group B sees Al Ahly safely through on 9 points. The contest will be for second spot between FAR Rabat of Morocco, who have 8 points, Young Africans of Tanzania on 5 points. Al Ahly hosts AS FAR in a clash that could then determine the group winner, while Young Africans must defeat the already eliminated JS Kabylie and hope other results in the group go their way. Group C is the one that remains quite entertaining because all 4 teams are still in contention for a quarter-final position Al Hilal of South Sudan, 8 points top of the table. MC Alger of Algeria, 7 points, second in the group. Sundowns from South Africa, third position, 6 points, while as Saint Elulupopo are currently occupying fourth position in the group on 5 points. So all 4 teams can still qualify come the end of this weekend. Al Hilal will host Limpopo, while Sundowns will take on MC Alger in a winner-takes-all encounter in South Africa. Then Group D, Stade Milan have already qualified for the top spot with 11 points. Esperance de Tunis, as well as Atletico de Luanda, both on 6 points in the group, are locked in a direct battle for a second qualification phase. Esperance will host the Angolan side de Luanda in what promises to be a decisive showdown, while the already eliminated Simba FC of Tanzania will conclude their campaign with the already qualified Stade Milan. On some cricket news now. The International Cricket Council has urged to review the rules concerning the 12th man duties, which had denied Scott Curry the chance to play for Scotland in the Men's T20 World Cup. So Poole-born Curry has played 3 one-day internationals for Scotland, having qualified for the team through his Scottish father. Now, potentially he could have been lining up to play for Scotland against England in Kolkata on Saturday, alongside his brother Brad, only to be deemed ineligible for the tournament because of the ICC red tape. So the Hampshire all-rounder was called up by England for a 3-match T20 series in September of 2025 as a replacement for the injured Shakib Mahood. Curry was not picked in England's playing 11 for all the matches which took place, but because he undertook the 12th man duty, he's now ineligible for Scotland for at least the next 3 years and can't play there for his father's nation. In live cricket action at the moment, Zimbabwe facing off with Australia in match 19 of 55. That's, of course, in the group stages of the ICC T20 World Cup. So it was Australia who won the toss and elected to bowl first, restricting Zimbabwe to 169 for the loss of 2 wickets in their 20 overs in the middle. At the moment, Australia, one of the most successful team in world cricket, are 24 for the loss of 2 wickets in the third over. They need 146 to win this encounter against Zimbabwe. So we might just see history being made today if Zimbabwe can get more wickets and bowl out Australia in these 20 overs. Onto this now. After opening her season with an impressive 9-minute and 21 seconds victory in the 3,000 metre event at the KwaZulu-Natal Athletics League meeting at the Kings Park Stadium, Kyla Kavanagh has told SABC Sport that she plans to shift more of her attention to the track this season. Now, the former national 10-kilometre champion says she wants to use the track to sharpen her speed and ultimately improve her road performances. As she prepares for the upcoming Absa Run Your City 10-kilometre race in Gqeberha in the country's Eastern Cape province on the 1st of March, Kavanagh believes going back to basics as well as challenging herself in the 5,000 as well as the 10,000 metre events will help her grow as an athlete. She is also targeting qualification for the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, Scotland from the 23rd of July to the 2nd of August. This season, she will balance both road as well as track racing with the aim of becoming a stronger and a faster competitor.
So starting off this year, I will be focusing quite a lot on the track. I decided that going back to the track will be, not that I have come from much of a track background, but I'm going to be doing track, hopefully the 5 and 10K on the track, and then hopping onto the road. So my first road race will be Absa Port Elizabeth, Absa Port Elizabeth, which is 1st of March will be my first road race. But yeah, so I'm going to be doing some track, and hopefully I can get some speed from the track and hopefully can translate that speed onto the road.
And finally, in tennis news, the world number 2 Iga Swiatek as well as Australian Open champion Elena Rybakina both crashed out of the Qatar Open on Thursday, losing their quarterfinals to Maria Sakkari as well as Victoria Mboko respectively. Now, top seed Swiatek fell short against a revitalized Sakkari, who rolled back the years as she clawed her way back to win 2-6, 6-4 and 7-5, while 10th seed Mboko outmuscled Rybakina 7-5, 4-6 and 6-4. The 30-year-old Greek won her first of 3 career their meetings with the Yang Shu attack, but then the last of those victories came back in 2021. The Pole had won their last 4 matches and most recent in straight sets at the Qatar Open just last year. Well, that concludes your sports news in the first hour of On the Move. For any sports stories you'd like to share with us, do send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za. Call us on +27 11714 4459. I'm back with more sports news in the next hour. For Channel Africa Sport, I am Musibudi Makura.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
Download the SABC app and take Channel Africa with you everywhere you go.
Es-tu préoccupé par quelque chose? Es-tu passionné par les questions qui comptent? As-tu une voix qui mérite d'être entendue? Eh bien, nous avons la plateforme parfaite pour toi. Téléphone-nous ou fais-nous un WhatsApp au +27 66 408 87 42 et nous te rappellerons. Sois dans la conversation.
Salut Channel Africa, ici Beno le diamant rouge et Binal Sport depuis le Cameroun, le pays des lions. Voilà.
Sois dans la conversation. Il ne s'agit pas seulement de parler, mais c'est ta chance d'exprimer ton point de vue, de partager tes opinions et de t'engager avec une communauté qui valorise ton avis. Suivez-nous sur les réseaux sociaux, visitez notre site www.channelafrica.co.za et préparez-vous à partager vos points de vue sur Channel Africa, la perspective africaine.
All right, thank you so much, Musibudi. Let's move on right now and get our business news.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
Thank you, Benjamin. Good morning. Ghana cuts its farm gate cocoa price paid to farmers, aligning it with the international market to spur more demand and financing model for bean purchases amid a raft of other measures aimed at supporting farmers following the plunge in global cocoa prices. The world's second biggest cocoa producer has been struggling to pay farmers as global cocoa demand has fallen sharply, leading global prices to halve over the course of the year to 2-year lows of around 4,000 a metric ton. Ghana's farm gate price, set annually by market regulator Cocoa Board, was nearly $5,300, which has depressed demand from international traders, leaving farmers unpaid. Nigeria's state oil firm NNPC booked after-tax profits of $4.26 billion last year as Africa's biggest oil producer recorded average crude and condensate output of 1.62 million barrels per day. NNPC did not provide comparison figures from the previous year in the results, which were released on Wednesday. It says crude production dipped slightly in December, the last month of the period, from earlier months due to scheduled maintenance and several unplanned outages. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has declared foot and mouth disease a national disaster. The economic impact of foot and mouth disease on the economy has been significant, with the disease causing a 26% drop in beef exports last year. Ramaphosa says the entire cattle herd in the country will be vaccinated against the disease. He says this will require 28 million vaccines and this will be centrally administered.
The cattle industry today is facing one of the worst outbreaks of foot and mouth disease our country has ever experienced. This disease is damaging our economy, resulting in export bans, trade restrictions, and the devastation of herds. We have classified foot and mouth disease as a national disaster and will be mobilizing all necessary capabilities within the state to deal with this crisis.
South African Minister in the Presidency, Khumbudzo Ntshavheni, says Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana will announce interventions to support the South African Broadcasting Corporation Corporation, SABC. Communications and Digital Technologies Minister Solly Malatsi has appointed Technology Industry Research and Advisory Body, BMIT, to develop a funding model for the public broadcaster. Malatsi has also announced that a revised version of the SABC bill is set to be presented in Parliament after April this year. Nchabeni spoke to SABC News after President Cyril Ramaphosa's State of the Nation address at the Cape Town City Hall.
The Minister of Finance will announce interventions that are being made to support the SABC, but the SABC needs to start to build its own financial viability models, and that is important. So it's important that the Parliament finalizes the SABC bill so that the SABC can be able to move on and deliver on that. But also SABC needs to be able to move out of the analog signals and go to digital signals. It will also significantly reduce its own costs.
New data shows that China's emissions of carbon dioxide fell in 2025 for the first full year to show such a decline. Though the drop is just 0.3%, campaigners say it could be a milestone. The BBC's Justin Rowlett has the details.
This is not a dramatic breakthrough, but it means emissions from the world's manufacturing hub and second largest economy have now been flat or falling for almost 2 years. Carbon Brief's figures show a finely balanced picture. Emissions dropped across major sectors, including transport, power, cement and metals, but rose in the chemical industry. China also added more coal and gas-fired power capacity last year than in any year for a decade.
Now let's have a look at financial indicators. $1 in Nigeria is at 1,000 Naira 353, Botswana 12.99, Kenya 128 shilling 11, Zambia 18 kwacha 70. BRICS countries, $1 in Brazil is at 5 real 19, Russia 77 rubles 13, India 90 rupees 59, China 6 yuan 90, South Africa 15 rand 90 cents. $1 is 73 pence to the British pound and 84 to the euro. Commodities, gold is at $4,956, platinum at $2,018 per ounce. The price of Brent crude oil is at $67.42 a barrel. That is all for now. For any business stories you'd like to share with us, please send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za, or you can call us on +27 11 714 4459. For Channel Africa Business, I am Chanduko Ligege.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African perspective. Africa, meet Abedi.
Yeah, that's me.
Abedi is a music lover through and through.
I really love African music.
He's got a taste for all kinds of tunes and spends his days listening to Channel Africa. Guess what? He didn't know.
Okay.
Channel Africa wants to help Abedi and all music lovers everywhere to discover even more incredible music. That is why Channel Africa is calling on all African musicians to submit their music. Musicians, remember to give us all your relevant information. Make your submissions at music@channelafrica.co.za. Submissions are your chance to be heard on radio. But sadly, they do not guarantee that you will be playlisted. All submissions will be carefully reviewed to see if they meet our station's requirement. Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Today we honor the remarkable power of radio and its broadcasters that allow us to educate, entertain, and inform. While we appreciate the inclusion of AI, we remain loyal to the most powerful form of human engagement, radio. We wish you a happy World Radio Day.
The rhythm of Africa, the pulse of the continent. This is Channel Africa, the African perspective.
You're mine. I love you, wallahi. You want a vacation, baby? Come to Dubai. I'ma uje bongo Kilimanjaro, one in Masai. I want you, I love you, man. I want your party na chai. Ooh, you're so pretty, na na na. When you shake your na na na, I wanna touch your na na na. You're so beautiful, cute face just like your mama. Kiuno, nataka kiuno, na ichoka kupa mama. Eti nataka aki. We got strong bonding, baby, you're my song. I go by your neck, still I fight, baby, I'm your zombie.
Hey, this is the young star Salima Chika with the track that made her popular on TikTok and Instagram. This one is titled Songi Songi. Taking us to 9:50 Central African Time. This is Channel Africa.
Você é fluente em português? É apaixonado por rádio e quer trabalhar na África do Sul? Você tem documentos que o qualificam para trabalhar na África do Sul? Nesse caso, podemos ter uma oportunidade para você trabalhar no Canal África. Envie seu currículo e demonstração para Canal África at newsroom@channelafrica.co.za. Lembre-se, se você não receber alguma resposta nossa em 14 dias, isso significa que você não foi selecionado. Canal África, a perspectiva africana.
Ahoy, matey!
Captain here to help, right, boys?
Set sail with us on a digital voyage like no other. Channel Africa has a treasure trove of awesomeness. That is our website and social media pages.
Tell me, why are you here?
We want you to be part of our adventure.
The winds are changing, Captain. And this time...
Imagine a world where curiosity knows no bounds, where entertainment meets enlightenment, and where every click leads to the African perspective. Visit us on our website, www.channelafrica.co.za, or follow us on Instagram or on X at Channel Africa 1. Go on, like us on Facebook at Channel Africa 1. So, spread the word. Tell a friend that Channel Africa's online variety is what they need on the web. Channel Africa, the African perspective. No fairy tales, just the facts and the music you love on Channel Africa.
Played it safe, I raised the bar, amazing grace. I praise the Lord, Versace store, the world is yours. Monate so, paparazzi wanna put a happy on. Trashy in the cup with a camera phone. Every time we in the club, it's a family show. Take the trophy on, we the champions. Always knew you'd be on top again. Super mega Mega, he on top again. Couple dollies in the cup for the ambiance. But you wildin', about to call you a maxi home. It's a classic night, Friday action night. Pay the price for everything that we sacrifice. For the bragging rights, I deserve this life. It's a perfect time to keep my circle tight. Fuck the flashing lights, fuck the plastic life. What's the verdict when I pull up at the traffic light? Who got the juice? Who got the juice? Somebody make me off, I can't confuse. The summer we on some other, let's act the fool. Do numbers like Cool China, we're absolute. Yeah. What it look like? Every time we pull up, it's a good time. All a good time like good wine. Record labels acting like Suge Knight. Keep it outside. Don't ever treat me like a Popeye. I got my niggas on standby. You gon' say hello to the bad guy. You played it safe, I raised the bar. Amazing grace, I praise the Lord. Versace store, the world is yours. We're not this all, we're not this all. Paparazzi wanna put a happy on. Trashy in the cup with a camera phone. Every time we in the club, it's a family show. Take the trophy on, we the champions. Champions, 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 champions. Always knew you'd be on top again. Super Mega, he on top again. These niggas pulling out weapons, trying to take shots at Mega. Tell me what you know about pressure. You too busy worried about blessings. Smoking that shop right checkers. My impact is something you can't measure. Who went plat without a Vernac record? Let's talk facts and give me some damn credit. I got a few things in the cabinet. 5 gold rings like a champion. And I ain't gonna change, I'm a savage. Sipping rosé with the family. What it look like? Every time we pull up, it's a good time. Killing my vibe, that's suicide. If I get a shoe size, kiss a goodbye. No need to worry about the news guy. Cause every story got 2 sides. We pop gold, you paid full price. For chillin' poolside and the blue sky. You played it safe, I raised the bar. Amazing grace, I praise the Lord. Versace store, the world is yours. We're not this all, we're not this all. Paparazzi wanna put a happy on. Trashy in the cup with a camera phone. Every time we in the club, it's a family show. Take the trophy on, we the champions. Champions, 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 champions. Always knew you'd be on top again. Super Mega, he on top again. Closer to my dreams, Bella in my jeans. My nigga, please, the flow 100 degrees. You see the beams, I'm like a money machine. My legal team can stomach my Twitter feed. Hey. And ever since victory lap, it never felt this good to be bad. The powers that be is so mad, you ain't sick of me yet. But low key, they be giving me depth, that's how the game goes. Purple rain, all I see is rainbows. Remember days when I was fucking with lame hoes. I never changed my budget up, my chain gold. Let's celebrate and pulling up with the same bros. How the saying goes, I paid the cost to be the boss, the main O. I'm in the sauce, you in the dark, it's painful. Nobody got it like I got it where I came from. Cuban cigars up in your videos. Touch on my charms, touch on my millions. Who got the buzz, who got the spilly on? Dollar what you must, the real niggas know. You played it safe, I raised the bar. Amazing grace, I praise the Lord. Versace store, the world is yours.
Hey, that's AKA raising the bar there. That the world is yours, taking us to 56 minutes past 9 o'clock Central African time. Still celebrating World Radio Day. Happy World Radio Day, everybody.
Yes. Are you still scared, Benji, that they're going to clone your voice?
I'm always scared when it comes to radio. There's always reasons to be scared when it comes to having a radio, being a radio professional, right? But who are your favorite radio presenters? I have to say I've got 2 favorite guys that I really, really used to love.
Yeah.
These are my legends. One of my favorite people that I used to love listening to just because of how charming he was definitely Vuyo Mbuli.
Okay.
When he was on SAFM.
Yeah.
He was known for being a TV guy, but I never really used to watch him on TV. But every time he was doing his radio gig, it was like, wow, charming, always posing the right questions, but also giving a human side even to some of the most hard-hitting stories. And then another guy that I really, really enjoyed was Xolani Kwala. Remember Xolani Kwala?
Yeah. Oh, he was incredible.
He was incredible.
He was incredible.
And one of the most moving moments for me is when he was struggling with cancer, right? Because that's why he passed away. But during that struggle, he was very transparent about his cancer journey on radio. And I was like, yeah, this is wonderful. Someone who can be so open and vulnerable because they understand the closeness that you feel as a listener to a presenter.
And that's the thing, right? I think that also showed the humanness of this particular medium, the intimacy of it, because that's true, right? The people who listen to radio, they feel like they know you. And in fact, they do. You have a personal relationship with the people who listen, and every person has their own personal relationship with what happens on air. And that story really showed the humanness of it all, which is why it's important to have this conversation of radio and AI, because although we want to bring in and adjust to what's going on and adapt to what's going on in the world, you just don't want to let the humanness of radio die, which what makes radio, right? It's what gives it that connection that people can rely on it for. And so if you use AI, it's important to use it in ways that are responsible, but it just doesn't take away that human nature of this incredible medium.
Yeah, who is your radio legend that you think back and you're like, this is why I started listening to radio? Let us know on our WhatsApp number, especially a figure on the African continent in your communities. Like, you know what? Every time we sit on the radio and we listen to this lady or we listen to this guy, we knew that we could trust what we heard. +27832886684. That's our WhatsApp number. That is where you can text us or voice note us. We're going to keep the celebrations going on for World Radio Day, and we are going to cross over to one of our sister stations right here at the SABC Ikwekwezi FM and Ndebele speaking community radio station of South Africa, offering wonderful, informative, educational music and entertainment content. And we'll be just saying, hey, happy World Radio Day to them a little bit later on here on Channel Africa. But who's your legend of radio in your African country? Let us know via WhatsApp number.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
Top stories this hour. African heads of state and government will gather in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. And France citizen disappears in Chad. Good morning. African heads of state and government will gather in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia this weekend for the 39th ordinary session of the African Union Assembly. The summit unfolds amid increasing global fragmentation, weakening multilateral cooperation and rising conflicts, mounting debt pressures and intensifying climate challenges. Although this year's official AU theme focuses on water, discussions are expected to be heavily shaped by peace and security concerns given ongoing regional instability, conflict and fragile political transitions across Africa. CEO of the African Continental Union Consultative Ghana chapter, Benjamin Anyagri Azinganatik, explains.
And of course, we have to endorse the new Africa Water Vision 2063 to ensure that water, sanitation and hygiene is prioritized in many African states. And I hope the AU this time around will not just bring out a team and also after that go and relax over it, but pursue it in action.
And South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa has issued a strong warning to local authorities who neglect their responsibility to supply water to communities, saying they face serious consequences. Ramaphosa says the consequences include criminal charges in their personal capacity for failing to abide with the laws on water provision. South Africa is facing an escalating national water crisis due to problems including aging infrastructure, poor maintenance and climate-induced drought. Major cities have prolonged outages, prompting calls to declare the situation a national disaster. Ramaphosa was delivering the 2026 State of the Nation address at the Cape Town Hall last night.
We will hold to account those who neglect their responsibility to supply water. Government has already laid criminal charges against 56 municipalities that have failed to meet their obligations. We will now move to even lay charges against municipal managers for violating the National Water Act.
And police watchdog Independent Police Investigative Directorate Assistant Tulane Makakula is continuing to testify before the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry in Pretoria, South Africa. The commission is probing allegations of criminality, corruption and political interference in the police and criminal justice system. Yesterday, Makakula denied allegations that he deliberately delayed investigations into suspended East of Johannesburg Deputy Chief Julius Mkhwanazi's conduct. Mkhwanazi is accused of ties to alleged criminal cartel kingpin Vusmusi Kat Matlala. The police watchdog senior investigator Nomsa Masuku also testified yesterday. And Cyclone Gazani is now approaching Mozambique after causing significant devastation in Madagascar, where it has claimed at least 35 lives, particularly impacting the port of Tuamasina. The cyclone has led to home collapse, power outages and the displacement of around 250,000 residents. The transportation disruptions for food and fuel, along with limited medical access due to damaged roads, pose major challenges. Local authorities are requesting international assistance as they struggle with the overwhelming situation. Winds have reached 250 kilometers per hour, resulting in extensive property damage, with reports indicating that up to 90% of roofs were affected. And on to this now. France is currently in close communication with the Chadian authorities regarding the disappearance of a French citizen in Chad. Specific details about the situations are yet to be disclosed, as reported by Foreign Ministry spokesperson Pascal Favreau. The missing person is identified as a French tourist who was participating in the International Festival of Saharan Cultures and is believed to have gone missing in the town of Amjaraz, situated in the northeast region of Chad. According to the mayor of Amjaraz, the tourist went missing during a hiking excursion after straying from their group. Such reports are actively being conducted to locate the individual who has been unaccounted for since the previous evening. A recap of your top story. African heads of state and government will meet in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, for the 39th ordinary session of the African Union Assembly. The summit occurs against a backdrop of global fragmentation, weakened multilateral cooperation and rising conflict. For any news stories you'd like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +2711 714 4459. For Channel Africa News, I am Matapela Mahape.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
Get Channel Africa on DSTV Audio Bouquet. Channel 802. On the Move with Benjamin and Palesa every weekday on Channel Africa, the African Perspective.
We're having a good time this morning on Channel Africa as we celebrate World Radio Day, and that is today. And we're speaking about radio and AI as the UNESCO theme of this year. And for our celebrations of the day, as we celebrate, we'll be crossing over to one of our SABC sister stations, Ikwekwezi FM. We'll be chatting to Gusheshe on the other side, as well as his guest presenter, Tsidi Manganyi, finding out how they feel about the evolution of radio and maybe how they're also using AI in this day and time.
Yeah.
That's going to be exciting.
Sounds very exciting indeed. But we still have also so much more right here in this hour. We're going to also be finding about a bit of a research where it was found that many Ghanaian celebrities are struggling with depression, anxiety, and other mental health issues, and they're keeping these experiences hidden. We look at the stigma of these speaking to the experts around that one. Hey, how you feeling about World Radio Day? Let us know on our live streams at Channel Africa 1 being the handle on our YouTube page. And you can come into our conversations in studio and let us know why radio means a lot to you. And also, you can let us know who are your radio legends. We want to hear from you.
So many reasons why I want it for you, my love. Now you want to retire with my love. See all the little good things you do, they make me no. This distance is taking a hold of me for sure. Baby, come. I want to make me there. Girl, I want to make you I want to make you pull over. Should be not this kind of things where they make man see ya. And me, I understand. Say your dad know like me. See me, I won't make it no. Say me there for you, gotta. And if not the price be that, I feel like to see ya. I never traded you for nothing. This love will make me the jack machine. Without you, I know where to love. Without you, I'm gonna get me with this all bingo. I never traded you, baby. This love will make me the star. No, I'ma get telling me what's up, bingo. I'ma want to make me there, I'ma get I want to make you. Baby, I feel like making you. Oh, baby, oh, no.
Hey, that's Oxlade. Others call him Oxlade. It's Kulo sound, that one. We about to cross over to our friends at Ikwekwezi. And we're celebrating World Radio Day in style today right here on Channel Africa. Looking forward to this crossing after this.
Madapiri Pazoshitika. Madapiri Pazoshitika.
Madotolo oposa 1,500 amene yaulere muzipatala zaboma mdziko la Zambia azanyanyala ntchito lachisanu sabata ya mawa ndipo Daniel Shabanda kutambasula nkhani.
Madotolo oposa 1,500 amene amagwira ntchito mopanda malipiro apamwezi dziko la Zambia akuyembekezera kuyamba kunyanyala ntchito. Ichi ndi chifukwa chakuti boma lalephera kuwalemba ntchito monga mmene lidawalonjezera. Channel Africa News yalankhulana ndi mkulu wa bungwe la madotolo la Resident Doctors Association of Zambia, Dr. Paul Chiwe, akugomeza kuti madotolo ambiri amene akugwira ntchito muzipatala zaboma akugwira ntchito yaulere ndipo ali ndi chiyembekezo chakuti tsiku lina adzalembedwa ntchito ndi boma.
Zochitika pa nthawi ya 6 koloko kufikira 7 koloko madzulo. Lolemba mpaka lachisanu ndi Madapiri. Step into the heart of the day on the move with Palesa and Benjamin.
Oh, it is such an exciting day. Today is World Radio Day, and UNESCO has deemed the theme of this year's World Radio Day as radio and AI. So yes, we're in a celebratory mood, but we don't want to celebrate alone this morning on Channel Africa.
Not at all.
Yeah, we want to celebrate with one of our SABC sister stations, Ikwekwezi FM, and they're joining us live on air on their 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. show at Ikwekwezi FM with Gusheshe, with someone, he has a special guest with him as well, Tsidi Mangai. Lochani, Gusheshe, how are you?
Palesa, lochan, nivukile ngapo.
Sivukile.
Akwande, penji.
Happy World Radio Day, guys.
Langelihle lomkhacho nagini ngapo ku Channel Africa. Ngihamba no Tsidi, the lady with an American height. Godwana Palesa ne is an African height.
I love
so,
that.
guys, tell us a little bit how you celebrating World Radio Day. You guys serve a wonderful community in South Africa, our Ndebele people. How important is World Radio Day for you guys?
Ngokuthoma thina simhathi kwekwezi FM ukuthwaya ilanga lephasi lomhatsho sithe akhe simema abalaleli bomhatsho ikwekwezi FM abanalo ikhono leli abantu abakhule bawulalela umhatsho abantu abawuthandako umhatsho ingakho nje namhlanje ngikhamba naye uThidi Kekane Manganye ayingqenye yehle lethu lapha emthonjeni namhlanje ngiyazi Thidi ukuthi usuka kude khulu kwambala nomhatsho mbala
ngisuka kude khulu nomhatsho ngiwulalela kusesemncane kusangena ihloko leya abo Ivan Kekana yo abo FBK yo ayikade ngulalela umhatsho so size sifike kulesi sikhathi it's been many years.
Palesa noBenji thina vele siyokhamba nabalaleli imini le yonke nje emahlelweni wethu ngokuhluka kwayo ngifuna ukwazi ukuthi lapha ku Channel Africa nenzani namhlanje singelanga elikhulu kangaka lomhatsho.
Hey man, we are learning a lot of Ndebele this morning.
Yeah,
Channel Africa. Emhatshweni. Look, we're speaking about how AI can be implemented into the world of radio and how we are seeing the advancement of radio happen. They've been saying that radio is going to die and doesn't seem like that's going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah, we're also going to be hanging out with Kulumani FM a little bit later on. That is our show, The Upside. They'll be having the same conversations around AI and the impact of radio program.
And Kulumani FM is in Zimbabwe,
yeah,
right?
it's in Zimbabwe.
Nice.
So that's a nice one. Guys, don't you think we're going to lose our jobs to AI sampling sometime in the future? Yeah? They're going to take our voices and then say, hey guys, it's over with your jobs.
Palesa Penzino Thidi izangintsheleni ngasabi kwathiwa nakufika umabona kude bathi umhatsho yokuphela okwathi nakufika ama podcast bathi umhatsho yokuphela ifikile AI bathi umhatsho yokuphela sisesekhona namhlanje
umhatsho awupheli
umhatsho Palesa
ngeke ujame phambi iAI ngeke yajama hlangana nomhatsho umhatsho uzohlala kumhatsho bekuye phambili
sihlala sizibona zifika zidlula ngikara ukuthi ke nani yokuhamba niyokuchinga eZimbabwe uqala ukuthi umhatsho ukuthi usephasini lonke nje uPalesa noBenji bayokuchinga eZimbabwe bakhulume ni umhatsho lentshinga bakhuluma ini kwenye eZimbabwe bakhuluma
Shona yes Shona
Palesa noBenji namhlanje
Shona Ndebele Sixhosa
namhlanje nokufunda thina sibafundisa isiNdebele bayokufunda neShona
yeah no sifunda kakhulu to this day.
All right guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Have a wonderful World Radio Day.
On the move.
Nagini langelihle lomhatsho ibani on the move lapho thina sele emthonjeni siyathokoza.
Happy World Radio Day emthonjeni from Ikwekwezi FM with Kusheshe and today's guest presenter Thidi Manganye.
From analog to digital, from airwaves to algorithms, radio's journey continues. Happy World Radio Day on Channel Africa, the African perspective.
9 to 12 midday, Central African Time.
On the Move with Palesa and Benjamin Moshatama.
Well, in recent conversation analysis, researchers found that many Ghanaian celebrities were struggling with depression, anxiety, and other mental health issues. And I don't know why we like to think that celebrities are not dealing with the same issues that we deal with in everyday society, because they are humans after all. But it seems like people put them on such a pedestal that they become afraid to speak about their real mental health issues. Unfortunately, this further stigmatizes or exacerbates the stigmas of mental health in the African continent. And today we're unpacking why celebrities should speak more openly about their mental health challenges and how this can shift public understanding in showing that mental illness doesn't discriminate and that seeking help is not a sign of weakness. We're unpacking this morning, joined by researchers Lisbeth King, who is Dr. Lisbeth King, a PhD student at the School of Communication Studies at Ohio University. We'll also be joined by Dr. Mary Kiura, Assistant Professor of Organizational Communications at Purdue University, Fort Wayne. That's in Northeast Indiana. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Good morning to you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much.
Good morning. Let's speak about this. Mental health is an issue all across the world. There's nothing different with that here on the African continent. But the African continent does highly stigmatize mental health conditions. What does it look like in the Ghanaian landscape?
All right, so thank you for having us. Once again, I am going to begin, and Dr. Kira will add up to that. So I do not think it's not very different from what you see happening. It is highly stigmatized, as you mentioned. People are ashamed to talk about it, and so they either keep silent or they pray about it because it is seen as a curse. It is seen as a spiritual affliction that they have because of something that they have done in their past.
Yeah, it's really worrying, right? Because when you have entertainers or celebrities, we think they're very immune to the experience of a mental stress. Coming to you, Dr. Mary Kiwura, maybe that's why some of their experiences are hidden.
Absolutely, because if you think about it, it's like the general public, the people who are not in the public space. So I'm looking at, again, people who are not necessarily public figures. If you think about it, they often look up to the celebrities, and this gives or adds another layer of pressure to celebrities. And so when they're going through mental illness struggles, they feel the need to hide it because they have these great numbers that are looking up to them, that they influence, and so they're hesitant to speak up about it because then they risk losing credibility. And one of the things our participants talked about, in this case our celebrities, is how this could also lead to them losing jobs. They rely heavily on ambassadorial jobs, and so when they come open about their mental illness struggles, it is often seen as a sign of weakness by the general public, which then leads them to losing jobs, jeopardizing their livelihoods, and these reasons compel them to stay silent for the most part.
This sounds like this is a huge cost of speaking openly about your mental health. Does this stigmatization actually further exacerbate the issues that are at hand, which is the depression and the anxiety? Because we know that speaking out is actually one of the very helpful steps in dealing with mental health issues. But if you're too afraid to speak out because you're going to lose your credibility, you might even lose the work that you do, it might further exacerbate the very mental illnesses that you struggle with. Let's take a break here, and I want to come back and speak to you, Lisbeth, about this after the break. Stay with us on the line. If you were a celebrity, would you speak out about the mental health issues that you were struggling with? Let us know.
Channel Africa is evolving, and so are you. Stay connected wherever you are with our brand new website and mobile app. Stream your favorite shows, catch up on African news, culture, and conversations, all at your fingertips.
Africa is just a tap away.
Your world, your stories, now on the go.
Stay connected wherever you are.
Visit channelafrica.co.za or download the Channel Africa app today. Channel Africa, the African perspective.
On the Move, weekdays, 9 a.m. to midday.
Only on Channel Africa. #On the Move.
20 minutes past 10 o'clock Central African time. This is On the Move with myself, Benjamin Moshatama and Palesa. We are digging deep into a study that is looking at this issue of celebrities who are being afraid of being labeled weak, right, because of their mental health challenges. We're speaking to Lisbeth King, a PhD student at the School of Communication Studies at Ohio University, who was a researcher alongside Dr. Mary Kiwura, who's an assistant professor of organizational communication at the Purdue University, Fort Wayne. And coming back to you, Lisbeth, you know, the thing about it is I'm curious in terms of that aspect of things, of speaking to people who are usually seen as strong figures, who are usually seen as seen from an elite lens, right? That's how we see celebrities. Usually it's the bling culture that informs how we give them their identity. When you were speaking to them, how did you go about finding out some of their struggles?
All right, thank you for the question. So I I am from Ghana myself, and while I was in Ghana, I studied theater arts as part of my courses, and so I was very much involved in a lot of the stage plays and student films, and so I had the opportunity to work alongside some of them, and so that is how I started getting to them. And so I reach out to people I know, and they help me reach out to other celebrities that they believe would be good participants for me. That is how I reached out to them and was able to do this. And it was interesting to find out that they were also very willing to talk about it for the people that I spoke with, and there was no power or hierarchical problems with that. And so the conversation was very smooth. There was nothing about hiding anything or looking down on me as
Yeah.
someone who is not a celebrity.
So Elizabeth, what kind of questions did you ask them?
So we asked them what how they talk about mental health, how they decide to disclose, and we also ask them what they do to manage the stigma that is associated with their mental illness struggles.
Now, speaking about how they manage, their mental health struggles, I see that in the article that you wrote about this research, a lot of them turn to private prayer because the alternative being professional support might further stigmatize them. What's the issue with that? Because, I think it's a very African thing where people say, when you're struggling with something, just go and pray. And sometimes prayer isn't enough. Even though, going ahead to your own religious, grouping can be helpful in whatever way, but professional assistance is necessary. So what is the issue with spreading that kind of a mental health support?
Could you repeat the question? What is the issue of
Yeah, I'm saying that many of them say that they've turned to private prayer instead of going to professionals for assistance with their mental health issues. What's the issue with that? What's the problem with that?
Okay, thank you. So one, because mental health illness in Ghana is seen as a curse, as I mentioned early on, they are afraid to talk about it. And a lot of them also feared that even though professionals are expected to be confidential, they were afraid that they would leak their information. And so the prayer was not only to manage stigma, but also to seek healing, knowing that it is a stigmatized topic. And now the problem with that is when we only depend on prayer, we lose the biomedical aspect of that, or the medical route, which can also be very helpful because prayer alone will not be able to heal people from their mental illnesses. And so a combination, which is something that we also recommended, that we should look at combining prayer for people that believe in the faith-based practices, prayer, and then the medical route to be able to deal with their mental health, because doing one and not doing the other will not be, like praying alone will not be entirely beneficial.
Okay, let's come back to you, Doctor, because there is stigma clearly here. How did you deal with those stigmas, and what was the way to counter them? Because as was highlighted, I'm a big person who's for prayer, right? But I'm also for just also getting that physical support from people around you. It seems like that was the balancing act that had to be done here. Your take on the stigmas and how to counter them, Dr. Kiura?
Absolutely. We strongly believe that we need to normalize conversations about mental health and mental illness in Africa. It is one of those topics that is considered taboo, and people are like hesitant to speak about it. Explains why even our celebrities resorted into private praying instead of seeking medical help. So the way we can manage stigma, I believe, is not just one way to do it, it requires different stakeholders playing a part in it. I will start by saying, from the celebrity perspective, it is important to speak up, because that then will make even the non-public figures feel like, oh, this is a topic we could openly talk about, especially those who look up to these celebrities. If celebrities can't be open about their struggles, then this is going to encourage the regular public to also open up. Another way we can minimize this stigma as the non-public figures is not to resort into bullying. One of the recurring themes that our participants talked about is how they choose to not share about their mental illness struggles, because the moment they do that, the public is just bullying them and calling them weak and trying to associate their mental illness struggles to some spiritual possessions. So as a public, we have a role to play in also reducing this stigma by ensuring, again, when people open up about their struggles, we are supporting them, we are directing them to helpful resources, as opposed to beating them at their lowest.
Yeah.
I also believe, just as a quick final point here, I also believe the point that Lisbeth raised, how some of the celebrities hesitated seeking medical help because they are afraid that their information is going to leak out there. I think that's a wake-up call to our practitioners, medical practitioners, to uphold confidentiality and privacy that comes with having access to these sensitive information about not just celebrities, but just humans.
This sounds like incredible work, and this is great research, because people do, unfortunately, especially in this social media age, people do follow the examples of celebrities. People have always wanted to be like celebrities. People aspire to them. People look up to them. And once they start speaking out, it might really change public perception over time on mental illness. Could you, before, as we wrap up, Lisbeth, let us know where people can go and read the study, and so we can find out more information about this study that you've done, and of course other work you've done as well.
All right, thank you for bringing that up. So the study, the full peer-reviewed article is on Communication Quarterly, and the title is I'll Pray About It, and how celebrities managing mental health. Sorry, let me look at the second part again. Mental illness stigma management strategies among Ghanaian celebrities.
Incredible.
And I can also share the link to you to share with the listeners.
Yes.
And the Conversation Africa too, if you go on their website, you would also find the article that we are discussing right now.
Thank you so much. A great article indeed, beautiful research, and very important here on the continent. That's Lisbeth King, PhD student at the School of Communication Studies at Ohio University, alongside Dr. Mary Kiura, who's Assistant Professor of Organizational Communication at Purdue University, Fort Wayne, speaking about the research they've done on Ghanaian celebrities not wanting to speak out about their mental health struggles, and how them doing so could break stigma and continue the support of mental health issues in Ghana, and hopefully by example all across the continent as well. It's 10:30 Central Africa time. Musibudi Makura is back with our latest sports.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Thank you so much, Palesa. Very good morning from the sports desk. Let's take you to the cricket. Live cricket action at the moment. It's Zimbabwe up against Australia in the T20 World Cup. Australia now 93 for the loss of 4 wickets after 13 overs. At this stage, Zimbabwe were at 106 for the loss of 1 wicket. So Australia don't have the runs on the board. They don't have wickets in hand as well. They do have about 6 wickets in hand, but of course they're in a disadvantaged position at the moment because Zimbabwe were at a higher score and had more wickets in hand at this stage of the game. Maxwell as well as Renshaw at the crease at the moment for Australia on 31 and 34 respectively. Masagadza currently bowling there to Maxwell, who's just hit a boundary, and he now moves to 35 over 30 balls. So we'll keep you updated of this match. At the moment, Australia on the back foot against Zimbabwe in this T20 match. Onto some football news now. The Confederation of African Football 2025-2026 group stage reaches a thrilling finale this weekend, with 4 of the 8 quarterfinal places still to be decided in the final round on the continent. So the top 2 teams in each pool will then move to the quarterfinal stages. Group A has already confirmed its qualifiers, but the battle is for top spot remains a prestige prize. So USM Alger lead the way on 13 points, and the host side will host Morocco's Olympique Safi, who sit a point back in Group A. In Group B, 3-time champions Wydad Casablanca top the pool on 12 points and host Tanzania's Azam, knowing a single point will secure first place. But the permutations are more complex than the first appear. The DR Congo's AS Manema Union also sit on 9 points and are expected to target maximum points against the already eliminated Nairobi United in Lubumbashi this weekend. Meanwhile, Group C has its qualifiers confirmed, but the order is still up for grabs. CR Belouizdad lead on 12 points and host AS Otono in Algiers on Sunday. With a draw enough for the Algerians to stay in the group and move into the quarterfinals. Otono, meanwhile, have already shown they can hurt Belouizdad. They won 4-1 in the reverse fixture, and any victory this time would then be enough to take them to first position. South African side Stellenbosch FC as well as Tanzania Singida Black Stars are playing for pride and to avoid bottom in their group. All eyes though will be on Group D, when Kaizer Chiefs lead on 10 points in the group but face a daunting away test to Egyptian giants Zamalek, who sit second on 8 points. A point would then send Amakosi through and lock out the top spot, yet Zamalek are still fighting for survival and will know that anything less than a victory could leave them ousted of this season's competition. For the field now, Jude Bellingham is a doubt for England's March friendlies amid fears from Real Madrid. His hamstring injury is worse than they had initially first thought. The 22-year-old Real Madrid player damaged his hamstring against Rayo Vallecano earlier on this month, but was only expected to miss around 4 weeks. It is now thought he will miss longer, with a new potential recovery timescale of 6 to 8 weeks. So if those concerns are realised, Bellingham will not have much time to prove his fitness for England's home friendly matches against Uruguay as well as Japan at Wembley Stadium at the end of March. So if Bellingham, who has 46 England caps, fails to prove his fitness, the news will then arrive as an obvious blow to Thomas Tuchel. The former Borussia Dortmund midfielder's position in the squad has been a subject of a conversation in recent months, with Aston Villa's Morgan Rogers often starring in the number 10 role. Nevertheless, Bellingham is still viewed as a key player for England heading into the World Cup, which Tuchel is said to name his players that will represent the team in May of this year. We'll stay in England. Arsenal missed the chance to re-establish their 6-point lead at the top of their Premier League table after an impressive Brentford side held them to a 1-1 draw in the Premier League last night. After seeing second place Manchester City sweep Fulham aside on Wednesday, Arsenal's lead at the top was then trimmed to just 3 points, but the Gunners could only improve that margin by 1 on a difficult night in West London. So Noni Madueke's header put Arsenal into the lead after 61 minutes before Keane Lewis Potter levelled things with his own header from a long throw in. Now both teams had good chances in the closing stages of the game as they became more stretched in terms of having the chances in front of goal but failing to convert, and both teams of course showing the spoils on the night. And finally, back home after opening her season with an impressive 9-minute and 21-second victory in the 3,000 metre at the KwaZulu-Natal Athletics League meeting at the Kings Park Stadium just a few weeks ago, Taylor Kavanagh has told the South African Broadcasting Corporation that she plans now to shift more of her attention to the track this season. Now, the former national 10-kilometre champion says she wants to use the track to sharpen her speed and ultimately ultimately improve her road performances. As she now prepares for the upcoming APSA Run Your City 10-kilometer race in Gqeberha in the Eastern Cape province in the 1st of March, Kavanagh believes going back to basics as well as challenging herself in the 5,000 as well as the 10,000 meter events will indeed help her grow as an athlete. She's also targeting a qualification to this year's Commonwealth Games that are taking place from the 23rd of July, concluding on the 5th of August. And that concludes your sports news this hour. For any sports stories you'd like to share with us, do send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za. Alternatively, call us. The newsroom line is +27 11714 4459. I'm back with the final sports update for the morning in the next hour. For Channel Africa Sport, I am Musibudi Makura.
Sports on Channel Africa.
The African Perspective.
Stay tuned to Channel Africa. Stream us on our new and updated website, channelafrica.co.za. Across Africa, communities rise with the promise of clean water and clean sanitation. The African Union's 2026 theme calls us to action.
It's about mobilizing real commitments, securing climate-resilient water and sanitation projects, and ensuring that water becomes a driver of sustainable development and prosperity across the continent.
A landmark moment, not only for Africa, but for the global movement for access to safe water for all.
Assuring sustainable water availability for every home, every village, every nation. This is the Africa we want.
Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Chanduko joins us right now to give us the latest business news.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Thank you, Benjamin. Good morning. Ghana's cut its farm gate cocoa price paid to farmers, aligning it with the international market to spur more demand, and announced a new financing model for bean purchases amid a raft of other measures aimed at supporting farmers following the plunge in global cocoa prices. The world's second biggest cocoa producer has been struggling to pay farmers as global cocoa demand has fallen sharply, leading global prices to halve over their course of the year to two-year lows of around 4,000 a metric ton. Ghana's farm gate price, set annually by market regulator Cocoa Board, was nearly $5,300, which has depressed demand from international traders, leaving farmers unpaid. In other news, after global mining investors discuss billion-rand deals in Cape Town, South Africa this week, a gathering at St. George's Cathedral is exposing the environmental and social impact often left out of the corporate narrative. The 17th Alternative Mining Indaba serves as a direct challenge to the industry, insisting that the extraction of the country's wealth must finally serve the people. The Alternative Mining Indaba is headlined this year by the 100-year debt campaign, which demands reparations from mining giants for a century of community dispossession. In other news, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has declared foot and mouth disease a national disaster. The economic impact of FMD on the economy has been significant, with the disease causing a 26% drop in beef exports last year. Ramaphosa says the entire cattle herd in the country will be vaccinated against the disease. He says this will require 28 million vaccines, and this will be centrally administered. A major South African bank has launched a dedicated solution for the country's 11 million Stokvel members. The aim is to formalize and digitize the multi-billion rand informal savings sector. A Stokvel is an informal community-based savings club or credit union. Members contribute a fixed monthly amount, which is then distributed to individuals in rotation or saved collectively for specific shared goals. And U.S. consumer prices likely maintained a steady pace of increase in January as businesses raised prices at the start of the year, which together with a stabilizing labor market could allow the Federal Reserve to keep interest rates unchanged for a while. Economists say the anticipated rise in the consumer price index will also reflect the continued pass-through from President Donald Trump's broad tariffs. The Labour Department's consumer inflation report will follow growth in January and the unemployment rate falling to 4.3% from 4.4% in December. Now let's have a look at financial indicators. $1 in Nigeria is trading at 1,353. Botswana is 12.99. Kenya 128 shilling 11. Zambia 18 kwacha 70. BRICS countries, $1 in Brazil at 5 real 19. Russia 77 rubles 13. India 90 rupee 59. China 6 yuan 90. South Africa 15 rand 90 cents. $1 is 73 pence to the British pound and 84 to the euro. Looking at commodities, gold is trading at $4,956. Platinum at $2,018 per ounce. The price of Brent crude oil $67.42 a barrel. That is all for now. For any business stories you'd like to share with us, please send us email at newsroom@channelafrica.co.za, or you can call us on +27 11 714 4459. For Channel Africa Business, I am Chanduko Ligege.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Este é o Caleidoscópio de Canal África, com Remo Samo e João Yabalá.
A situação do ativista angolano Serrote José de Oliveira, preso desde julho, tem gerado grande preocupação internacional. Conhecido como General Nila e presidente do movimento União Nacional para a Total Revolução de Angola, Serrote iniciou uma greve de fome em protesto contra a sua prisão, que considera arbitrária. De acordo com a Amnistia Internacional, o estado de saúde do ativista está a deteriorar-se rapidamente devido à falta de acesso a cuidados médicos adequados. Para discutir o impacto deste caso e o estado da liberdade política em Angola, vamos conversar com Dito Dale, ativista e defensor dos direitos humanos.
Nós estamos diante de uma clara estratégia de aniquilar os jovens, porque quando uma pessoa está doente, deve ser assistida. Ao não proporcionar esses cuidados médicos, o que é que o regime quer? Não quer que esse jovem saia livre e com vida da prisão, quer matá-lo.
De segunda a sexta-feira, das 20 às 21 horas locais, este é o Caleidoscópio do Canal África. Ritmos e cultura. Com Jacob Tivani.
E os ouvintes do Ritmos e Cultura, hoje em linha com uma das grandezas da música moçambicana, porque não? Ele que é um dos kings da Marra Benta, uma bermuda in the building.
É um prazer enorme estar a fazer parte deste programa. Deixe-me só saudar. Boa tarde a todos os ouvintes que me ouvem neste preciso momento. Meu nome é uma bermuda, de Alau Fanelo Estarapo, gajo de água da Fanhela é Mabiscato. Eu vou saudar de uma maneira diferente. Tita vuya mwanango, chiduma tifika giane. Tita vuya mwanango, chiduma tifika giane. Ani motive lo ababa yena otiva mina haikonama. Ani motive lo anona yena otiva wahimbo wadwa. Cá estou eu, irmão, para conversarmos, para falarmos um pouco de tudo. Estou aqui, estou aberto. Eu estou muito feliz porque é a primeira vez que eu falo nesta rádio, falo para os ouvintes, então estou muito feliz.
Ritmos e cultura com Jacob Tivani. Todos os domingos, das 20 às 21 horas.
Tune in and turn up the volume. This is Channel Africa. Get set and be ready to go. On the Move with Palesa and Benjamin Moshatama.
When I'm under the weather, can't help but go back to the days of December. I know you still remember, you were the one who let me go, remember. Remember. But we go through this together.
Hey, under the weather, please, mister. We're under the weather here in Joburg. It was rainy this morning. Hopefully, the weather has changed. That's a Shekinah taking us to 49 minutes past 10 o'clock Central African time. Happy World Radio Day. Yeah, it's nice, doing this because you can do things like that with radio, right?
Right.
Just go, World Radio Day.
And that's your job. I love it for you.
All right, man. What are your favorite legends when you think about radio? Not what or who. Yeah, sometimes I feel like radio people are seen as whats, because we're just voices, right?
Voices behind somewhere where you don't know where they are.
Yeah, I know. Who are your favorite radio legends that you can think of from your own country? Let us know on our WhatsApp number. We'd really love to hear some of the legends in your countries. I know you guys are listening to us in different parts of the continent. You can give us your comments on our live stream on our Facebook page, which is simply titled Channel Africa. We'd love to hear all those wonderful broadcasts that are doing great work on the African continent.
Conversations are happening, and Channel Africa is at the heart of them. We tell the African story with clarity, pride, and purpose, reaching audiences that matter to your brand. Partner with us and connect your business with listeners across borders in multiple languages and markets. For partnership opportunities, sponsorship, or sales, email us at partnership@channelafrica.co.za. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Africa Update on Channel Africa with Lulu Kabu.
South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa has informed UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres that South Africa will withdraw its troop contribution to MONUSCO, the UN peacekeeping mission in the Democratic Republic of Congo, after nearly 27 years of involvement. Defense expert Dean Wingren, what are the main security implications of South Africa withdrawing troops from MONUSCO, and why now?
South Africa has been part of the MONUSCO mission since it was established in 1999, and is South Africa's longest-running peacekeeping and peace enforcement mission. So it's not something to be taken lightly when the President says that he's unilaterally withdrawing from the mission. Why now is the question? Well, the MONUSCO mission has always been intended to be terminated initially at the end of 2025, and then it was extended to the end of this year. So with the funding crisis within the UN generally, there's less funds for these peacekeeping missions, and hence the UN has had to cut back on the various contributing countries and equipment.
Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, 12 to 1 p.m. Central African Time.
From the 1995 Rugby World Cup victory, Bafana's 1996 AFCON title, Ladysmith Black Mambazo's Grammy Awards, to Mark Shuttleworth's mission to space, the Mzansi Wireless has brought us unforgettable moments through the legendary voices of the likes of Richard Mwamba and Benjamin Moshatama, reminding us why radio is the most powerful medium of human connection. Happy World Radio Day.
No interruptions, just the music you love on Channel Africa.
Vani lalela welelelelele ngiva kumnanzi uma uvala igama lami uva kunjani uma ngithi igama lakho uva kunjani uma ngithi ngiyakuthanda ngiphutha ngikhulume ngithini mase ungithinta lena lena inhliziyo yami ishaya tiki 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 ishaya tiki 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 Vani lalela ngiva kumnanzi uma ngiva igama lakho ngiva kumnanzi uma ngibita igama lakho ngiva kumnanzi uma uthi uyangithanda uthi ngikhulume ngithini uma uvumelana nami inhliziyo ishaya tiki 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 ishaya tiki tiki tiki
Friday vibes right here on Channel Africa. That sounds with the Tigi Tigi. What does Tigi Tigi mean?
It's the way your heart beats when you come across the person that you love. Your heart just goes tick, tick, tick.
All right, Valentine's Day is tomorrow, so
Yes.
that one is well themed there. Talking about Valentine's Day, who are the broadcasters that you love, the legendary ones in your country? Let us know on our WhatsApp number. We'd love to know from you who are those guys that really stand out for you. But you can't say you don't have a favorite all-time broadcaster.
Look, of course I do. Someone who's an all-time broadcaster and still standing today.
Thank you.
Still making people
Thank you,
laugh.
everybody. Thank you.
Still
Yes.
making sure that people stay true to the radio.
Tell them about me. Tell them.
Is Ntate Tuso.
Yes. Yes, Ntate Tuso is awesome.
Yes,
right?
he's so awesome.
He's got a sense of humor. He's got like a sense of wisdom.
And he's multi-generational. Like
Yes.
young people listen to him.
Yes.
Old people have been listening to him
Absolutely.
when they were younger. And I mean, he's got the longevity that's necessary in this, in this place.
Yeah, and thinking about that guy, I used to love radio because of how my grandmother navigated herself around radio,
Yeah.
She was always listening to the likes of Tuso and some others. And I always was like, this is something I would love to do one day, just by how
And
a
make
day
your
would
grandmother
look
happy.
like. Not really, but just how like a day would be surrounded around radio.
Yeah.
So there would be days where she knows like, okay, at this time I'm sitting with my tea and I'm going to listen to this show. And then on certain moments she's outside
In the
doing the
lawn.
garden, in the lawn, and she's doing
With the set
yeah,
outside.
But then it was interesting that that's how personalized it was for her, that different radio programs meant what she is doing in her day.
Yeah.
So it was always located to a particular activity of the day.
And that's actually one of the reasons that we do time markers on radio, because people do, create their lives around what time it is. And they know what time it is because of what's going on radio. And when we tell them what time it is on the show. So if you're wondering, when you love to listen to radio, why we're always doing this time markers, it's exactly for that. You live your life around radio and you know exactly what you should be doing at what time. You know when to be getting in the car and you're late for work. You know when it's your lunch break. You know when it's time for you to go outside and garden. It's because we keep you updated and we center ourselves through your life.
All right. Profound.
I know.
Happy World Radio Day, everyone. We can't say it enough. It's such a powerful medium in the world, but especially here on the continent where more and more everything you get access to when it comes to information, you have to really pay for it. Just because you go into the internet and you go to a website and you can read from that website doesn't mean it's for free. You've paid for it. The fact that you really had to have that internet data, right? But with radio, you can just switch on that set. It's free. It's for everyone. It's accessible. It's in different languages. How wonderful is this medium?
On that note, it's 11 a.m. Central Africa time. Let's get our latest news.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
Thank you, Palesa. Top stories this hour. A gathering for the 39th Ordinary Session of the African Union Assembly, and Russia blocks a messaging platform WhatsApp. With the news at 11 o'clock, I'm Matapala Mahape. Good morning. African heads of state and government will gather in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia this weekend for the 39th Ordinary Session of the African Union Assembly. The summit unfolds amid increasing global fragmentation, weakening multilateral cooperation, rising conflicts, mounting debt pressures and intensifying climate challenges. Although this year's official AU theme focuses on water, discussions are expected to be heavily shaped by peace and security concerns, given ongoing regional instability, conflict and fragile political transitions across Africa. CEO of the African Continental Union Consult Ghana chapter, Benjamin Anyagri Azinganatik.
And of course, we have to endorse the new Africa Water Vision 2063 to ensure that water, sanitation and hygiene is prioritized in many African states. And I hope the AU this time around will not just bring out a team and also after that go and relax over it, but pursue it in action.
And more protection is on the cards for whistleblowers in South Africa. Many frequently risk their lives, careers and mental well-being to expose illegal acts, including corruption, when confronting powerful organizations or individuals. They include Babita Diokaram, an employee of the Gauteng Province Health Department who was shot dead in August of 2021. In the State of the Nation address, President Cyril Ramaphosa said a new bill aimed at protecting whistleblowers will soon be tabled in Parliament.
We cannot accept that those who speak out against corruption are victimized, targeted, and killed. The Whistleblower Protection Bill will be introduced in Parliament. Among other things, this will criminalize retaliation and provide psychosocial, legal, and financial support to whistleblowers.
And Nigeria's preparations for the 2027 general election faces criticism after the Senate amended the Electoral Act with concerns that this may diminish transparency and public trust. Civil society organizations like the Center for Democracy and Development caution that rejecting mandatory electronic result transmission and compressing the Independent National Electoral Commission's operational timeline could undermine recent electoral reforms. And on to this now, Cyclone Gazani is now approaching Mozambique after causing significant devastation in Madagascar, where it has claimed at least 35 lives, particularly impacting the port of Talmasina. The cyclone has led to home collapse. The cyclone has led to home collapses, power outages, and the displacement of around 250,000 residents, transportation disruptions for food and fuel, along with limited medical access due to damaged roads, pose major challenges. Local authorities are requesting international assistance as they struggle with the overwhelming situation. Winds have reached 250 kilometers per hour, resulting in extensive property damage, with reports indicating that up to 90% of roofs were affected. And on to the story now. The Kremlin has confirmed that Russia has started blocking the popular messaging platform WhatsApp. Its spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said that this was because of its refusal to comply with Russian law. He suggested Russians instead use the state-backed messenger Max, which some critics say is being used to spy on Russian citizens. The BBC's Nick Marsh reports.
Back in 2022, Meta, which owns WhatsApp, was listed as a terrorist organisation in Russia. And it's a bit of a long story, but basically it has to do with the war in Ukraine and Meta allowing anti-Russian posts on its platforms. So since then, Facebook and Instagram, owned by Meta, have been effectively blocked in Russia. You need a VPN to access them. WhatsApp wasn't, though. Now it appears to have been removed from the Russian internet regulator's directory. So that's 100 million people cut off overnight, essentially.
And a recap of your top story. African heads of state and government will meet in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia for the 39th ordinary session of the African Union Assembly. The summit occurs against a backlog of global fragmentation, weakened multilateral cooperation and rising conflicts. For any news stories you'd like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +2711 714 4459. For Channel Africa News, I am Matapela Mahape.
SABC News. The African Perspective. Download the SABC app and take Channel Africa with you everywhere you go. On the Move with Benjamin and Palesa every weekday on Channel Africa, The African Perspective.
Hey, kuzoba mnandi, man. It's gonna be a happy day today. It is a Friday anyway, and we've got some hard-hitting members of the great Kwaito group, supergroup. Let's call them the supergroup, right? Trompies. Yeah, man, we're going to be hanging out with them and find out how they've kept this big Kwaito group together. You know, some of the biggest groups in the 90s that were like Kwaito groups, they don't actually exist anymore. You know, and I don't know what kept these guys glued together, how they kept looking out for each other, because in the world of Celebrityville, it's easy to let go of the guys that you make money with, right? And to disagree and not to move forward. But these guys just kept it going. There was a point where we're like, what's going on, guys? You guys are going your separate ways. Have you all have your own albums in? There's no more Trompies. They were like,
it was never over.
No, it was never over. We are here to stay.
Absolutely. And you know, they've recently launched a brand new EP.
Nice.
That's called Pantsola for Life. We're finding out about this brand new EP by Trompies. What a legendary group, man. We'll be joined by two of their members, Mandla Spikiri and Jakarumba Jaros Nkwe, are about to join us in a couple of seconds. I hope you have your all-stars on.
Yes.
And ready to dance.
Yes.
With Trompies.
Get your dancing shoes on, guys.
Just after this. Yep, it's the legendary drum piece with Mahasman. You must know this one, I'm pretty sure. So get your all-stars on. They're here in studio and we'll be chatting to them after this.
Africa, voici Abedi.
Oui, c'est moi.
Abedi est un passionné de musique dans l'âme. Il a un goût pour toutes sortes de musique et passe ses journées à écouter Channel Africa.
J'aime beaucoup la musique africaine.
Ok. Devinez quoi? Channel Africa veut aider Abedi et les mélomanes du monde entier à découvrir encore plus de musique incroyable. C'est pourquoi Channel Africa appelle les artistes africains à soumettre leur musique. Chers artistes, n'oubliez pas de nous fournir toutes vos informations pertinentes à l'email adresse musique@channelafrica.co.za. Les soumissions sont votre chance d'être entendues, mais elles ne garantissent pas une playlist. Toutes les soumissions seront soigneusement examinées pour voir si elles répondent aux exigences de notre station. Channel Africa, la perspective africaine.
Tune in and turn up the volume. This is Channel Africa.
Hey, there are groups and then there are super groups right here in South Africa. But there are also groups that carry with them not just their individual flavor, but they bring an entire community. They represent a culture. But over time, that can easily die, right? And you just see things just fading away. That's why we call them the supergroup, because they've maintained their status. They've continued to carry the same culture. And most importantly, they've stayed their authentic selves. This is Trompis, a legendary South African Kwaito music group. We know that they carry the Pantsula community. Maybe a lot of people have forgotten that community as we move into the Amapiano era, the Afrobeats area. But these guys are saying, no. We're keeping that culture going.
Yeah, this one in the background, in fact, is one of their latest ones. Yeah. This one is titled Lilizela. Yeah. It's Trompis, Nokwazi, and Cuesta on this particular song. Oh, thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming through. Legends.
Yeah, we've got Mandla Speaker Mfukeng with us and Jairus Chakarum.
Hello, Africa.
Oh yeah, Dumelan.
Dumelan, how are you guys doing?
Sharp.
So far so good. Rubona also I'll sing.
That's beautiful, man.
Up early in the morning, but this is our job.
Sure. Guys, how have you guys kept this going? When Kwaito started, it was formulated from the perspective of groups. Yes, you had those few individuals, right, who had their solo careers.
Yes.
But Kwaito was formulated out of groups. The groups were such an important part of the identity of Kwaito, right?
Yes.
Because, I don't know, over time, you saw that also just fizzling out. But you guys kept together. What was the glue, or what is the glue that has kept Trompis going for all these years?
Firstly, I can answer that. My name is Jairus Chakarumba, hello Africa. I think why we still together for such a long time is because we grew up together as brothers before we were musicians.
Okay.
We grew up together as brothers, family, friends, and then and we loved music. We loved to dance. We we did everything together, especially musically. You know, I can say we started as dancers, me and Speakery.
Okay.
And then winning the competition and all that, and then Chico Twala, you know, the legendary Chico Twala discovered us, and then he said, "No, come and work with me," and then that's how it all started. And then we met with Mahuta, Jokes, Eugene, because we were always schooling together and all that.
Yeah, and we are from the same neighborhood.
All right, so
it's Kulelendo 5.
Okay.
You know, we've heard this before. We've heard this before. We are brothers. We've been here. We are sisters. We are family. But the groups still break up, even when they said they were family. Even when they said they started their careers together, and all of that.
All about the respecting each other.
Okay.
We've got that thing of respect. If one of us is wrong, you apologize.
Yes.
And we sort our things out. And that's why we treat each other like brothers. And as we are same kasi and slangane. Sisloge singabupra. We formed the group Trumpis, Sisloge singama brothers. So even into essence of it still lasted for such a long time.
Show them our ego to our gain into so this business.
Even if
you are wrong, you admit.
Even if we still have our solo albums as our individuals. But when it comes to Trumpis, stop and we come back as a group and release the Trumpis. So when it's time for our solo albums, we stop, miss the Trumpis and it's still. There's Konu Chakarumba, Konu Mauta, Konu Speaky.
Everyone is holding their own name. Everyone has their own brand. Everyone is like, you know, big in their own way. But Trumpis is what brings you guys together. And you're putting aside everybody as individuals when it's time for Trumpis.
And that's powerful, right? Because it speaks the fact that you are all individuals, but when you can come together, you respect this one thing, right?
Yes.
Let's talk about back in the day when you guys were still dancers and the Pansula culture, because I think that's still the thing that binds you guys together. That's still the thing that flows in your blood, right? The Pansula culture. People don't understand what it is. Could you let us know how important that element of the culture is for you?
Like you saying, Pansula culture is a culture, and we grew up under Amakrutman way to now Begwama Pansula, you know, and the lifestyle they were living, the attire they were wearing,
the way you dress, the way you talk, the way
they talk, the way they walk.
But also there's a brotherhood there, right?
Yes.
That's why you guys are still together, because my homies will always be my homies.
Yeah, but you must remember, people, when you say you are a Pansula, before we...
It was associated with crime.
It was associated with crime, with gangsters and all that. So... we wanted to prove to the people that even if I can be a Pansula, but I'm not a criminal, I'm not a gangster, I'm not somebody who's bad, you know.
How many years has it been? Do you remember how many years has it been?
It's 32 years.
32 years now.
No, that's almost as old as me, guys.
It's been 32
I'm just a few years older, but that's almost as old as me. And for 32 years, a lot can go on. I'm just saying, even in your lives as individuals, right?
That's true.
Families, people live, people die, people get upset. So many things can change in 32 years. But you guys remaining as Trumpis, even with these 32 years, how does that make the brotherhood stronger now that we're in 2026 and Trumpis is releasing new music again?
I think the passion that we have for our music, the passion that we have for being in this music industry, and to love one another. And another thing that keeps us more strong, there's no egos and all that, is that we are equal. there's no boss in our group.
Yeah.
Are you sure Mahuta is not the boss?
No, we're all equal.
Because you think it's the Malankana who's the boss.
I know.
And then even if I can try sometimes, you're gonna be lazy sometimes. But if I got speaker said, no, stop it, you mustn't be lazy.
Yes.
You know what I'm interested in? I want to know what the personalities are like, right? You have your own personality. Spikere, Mahuta has his own, Donald has his own, Jakarumba has his own personalities.
Yeah.
And I want to know who these people are separately and why when the four of you come together, you create a nice big bomb for us. We're hanging out with two.
Mina speaking wiki, I'm a very cool guy.
Ooh,
Yeah, when I'm cool. Yeah, mara ngamba ne flow ya makeng. Whatever I support.
Fantastic, man. We are with the wonderful Trompis in studio, a fantastic group that has shown faithfulness not only to each other but also to what they represent in the music culture. Let's take a break. We'll be back.
From local studios to cross-border conversations, from traditional broadcasting to artificial intelligence, radio has always connected people. This Radio Day on Channel Africa. Join us for a special collaboration when On the Move crosses to Ikwekwezi FM from 9 till 12, and The Upside connects with Kulumani FM from Zimbabwe from 1 till 4 p.m. Central African Time as they talk about the evolution of radio. This World Radio Day, it's radio and AI, honoring where we come from and embracing where we are going. Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Parlez-vous couramment le français? Êtes-vous passionné par la radio? Et êtes-vous qualifié pour travailler en Afrique du Sud? Envoyez-nous votre CV et vos 3 minutes démo en MP3 à @channelafrica.co.za pour avoir une chance de rejoindre la famille Channel Africa. Si vous n'avez pas de réponse après 14 jours, cela signifie que vous n'avez pas été retenu. Channel Africa, la perspective africaine.
Palesa and Benjamin fuel your day with fresh African perspective on Channel Africa.
You know what? We are having a time in studio today. So much fun. And that's because we're hanging out with the legendary Trompis here in our studios. Trompis has been with us for 32 years.
Oh, yeah.
According to them. And 32 years is still young. That means that Trompis is still young and they're still bringing the fire. And this fire comes in the form of a 5-track EP that's titled Pantsula for Life.
Yeah.
They've collaborated with hard hitters like themselves, Fed Cook and Mahuta, Questa, Kabza the Small, Toss, Reese Madlisa, Dr. Lamandro, Nokwazi, and many. Hey, yeah, guys. And that's powerful, right? It's powerful because you guys have been in the game for 32 years. The other people that we've mentioned that you guys are working with, some of them haven't even been in the game for that long. But people look up to you. People want to work with Trompis because there's a fire about Trompis that doesn't burn out. How are you guys keeping that fire alive?
In order to stay relevant, we must work with the young generation.
Of course,
So we change with times. We asihlali nje endaweni eyi-one, mara we still keep our identity. As we change ubupantsula bethu and our style of music, but at the same time we include amajita ayang, amajita segaming, amajita hot khona manje yabona.
All right, but that's also interesting because to a large extent you guys are pioneers of what is happening now. People like separating genres, right? I'm a piano and this and that and that, but it's actually a progression of kwaito, really. There's nothing, it's not even a debate. How do you guys even see that transition and saying, you know what, we started all of this and there's a new generation that is actually now, they're entrepreneurial, they're traveling the world because we started this whole thing.
Yeah, what I can say, firstly, I know you're talking about Amapiano. And somebody, just we were talking about Amapiano, and he said to Chakarumba, Amapiano is quite on steroids.
Yes, exactly.
quite open up doors for many genres of music like
yes,
hip hop, yes, South Africa.
Sure.
And others, but mina ngihlala ngisho ukuthi if you are a musician you need to be versatile, you need to accommodate, you need to have that IQ ukuthi ukwazi ukubona ukuthi this is gonna work in the future, you know.
Be a futurist.
Be a futurist. Thank you. So it is amazing ukuthi sihlangane kanjani with this guys, the new ones, the Kapsa, the Smalls, the Scots, and because they did ask you, we heard that you are working on your new project, you know.
Can we please come?
Can we please come?
Yeah.
And
they were like, please,
we
want to be part of this. We are because of you guys.
Yes.
So we want to be part of this.
And it was easy for us now. We didn't have to crack our skulls.
Send them a proposal.
Okay, guys, it's on fire.
And you
know what? I'm seeing something, right? Because you're speaking about you guys had the IQ to be futurist, to see what was going to be popular in the future, and that was part of your staying power. When Kwaito started, you guys as well, you started as dancers, right? Dancers goes into music. That's faded over time, but now if you see what's going on now, it's the dancing and the music that are going hand in hand. Every song must have a dance, and even today's dancers are becoming musicians as well. So it's like a rebirth of the era.
Yes, it is.
That's beautiful, guys.
But with trompists, you know, we used to, you know, how can I put it, to admire Chico Twalas, Michael Jackson's, Somalis.
Yes.
You know, we were so ambitious that one day we want to be like them, you know. And it happened, you know.
Nice, that's beautiful.
I think for us, again, it was a match made in heaven.
Let's talk about the EP. Tell us more about it. What can people expect from it? Is there a new flavor? Are you keeping to? I mean, I heard that song. That you just we opened with. It still keeps. It keeps the heart of the 90s. There. You know, I love that. It's got that, you know, that 90s feeling there, which is like so beautiful.
No, sure. You know, Trump is always album. There's always a wedding song.
Yes.
Like Sweet Love.
Yes.
Malabu Labu.
You
know, those kind of vibes. So that's why I'm being sure with it's a mix with the new generation, but at the same time we kept our style. We still kept that quite of vibe.
And when that played, I was like, yo, it's been so long since I heard
all of a sudden
song.
Palesa wants to marry
Benji, it's 2026. Ngizokukhiphela wena inkomo. Ngizoza kimi ngikhiphela inkomo.
I was saying again that I think I'm working with versatile musicians like Speaker, like Mahuta, Boskido, and then so that's how we change with the times. And in this EP, you know, we didn't lose our chemistry, but we let the youngsters like the Kapsa, the Small, the Toast take over a little bit, and then we listen, and then we said, no, let's mix this old and
the new
and fuse it, you know, to be one. And then that's how
music is a universal language.
And you know what that tells me? It tells me good ansabi luto, because a lot of the time, abantu, when there's young people, they like don't bring the youngins, because there's fear that these people are gonna take over us, and then Tina, we're not gonna be relevant. Dompis is not afraid. It's like we wanna be with the young people because we're still gonna be Dompis.
We need that flavor.
Either way.
Oh man! All right, gents, we have to say goodbye. Where can people find your EP, and what is it called?
It's called Pantsula for Life.
See, that Pantsula theme comes back. Nice.
Yeah, digital platforms.
Okay.
Yeah, you can just download it, stream.
Yeah. But before you go, I want you to say, Speaky, Ricky, ooh, wee.
Oh, yeah. Speaky, Ricky, wiki, ooh, wee.
Ladies.
Chakarumba, you have to do your thing as well.
Say hallelujah since according in a condolum jita fanditone. Except Africa. Hallelujah.
Oh, hello.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, James. It's been beautiful hang out with you. We're going to listen to your track a little bit later on. But thank you for giving us your time here on Channel
Thank
Africa.
you for inviting us, Buffy.
What a pleasure.
Yes.
It's 11:30. Musibudi, let's get our sports.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Thank you so much, Palesa. Very good morning from the sports desk. So the Confederation Cup 2025-2026 group stages will reach a thrilling finale this weekend, with 4 of the 8 quarterfinal places still up for grabs and will be decided come the end of this weekend. So the top 2 teams in each group move onward to the quarterfinals. Group A has already confirmed its 2 qualifiers, but the battle for top spot remains a prestige prize. USM Alger lead the way on 13 points and host Morocco's Olympic Safi, who sit second on 12 points. In Group B, 3-time champions Wydad Casablanca top the group on 12 points and host Tanzania's Azam, knowing a single point will secure their place into the quarterfinals. But the permutations are more complex than they first appear. Now, the DR Congo's Manema Union also sit on 9 points and are expected to target minimum points against already eliminated Nairobi United when they face off in Lubumbashi. Group C, meanwhile, has its qualifiers confirmed, with the order still up for grabs. CR Belouizdad lead on 12 points and host AS Otoho in Algiers on Sunday, with a draw enough for the Algerians to stay top. Otoho, however, have already shown they can hurt Belouizdad, having won the reverse fixture 4-1, and any victory this time around would be enough to take them to first position. Now, back home, Stellenbosch FC will host Tanzania's Singida Black Stars, and they are playing for pride, both these teams, to avoid bottom spot in the group. All eyes, though, will be in Group D, where Kaizer Chiefs lead on 10 points, but face a daunting away task to Egyptian giants Zamalek, who sit on 8 points. A point would see Amakosi through to the quarterfinals, yet Zamalek are fighting for survival and will also know that anything less than a victory could leave them ousted from the competition. For the field now, Jude Bellingham is a doubt for England's March friendly matches amid fears from Real Madrid. His hamstring injury is worse than they first thought. The 22-year-old Real Madrid damaged his hamstring against Rayo Vallecano earlier this month, but was only expected to miss around 4 weeks. It is now thought he will miss longer, with a new potential recovery timescale of 6 to 8 weeks. If those concerns are realised, Bellingham will not have much time to prove his fitness for England's home friendly matches against Uruguay and Japan at Wembley Stadium at the end of March. So if Bellingham, who has 46 caps for his country, fails to prove his fitness, then the news will arrive as an obvious blow to Thomas Tuchel. The former Borussia Dortmund midfielder's position in the squad has been a subject of conversation in recent months, with Aston Villa's Morgan Rogers also starting in the number 10 role. Nevertheless, Bellingham is still viewed as a key player for England heading into the summer's World Cup, with Tuchel set to name his team in May of this year. World number 2 Iga Swiatek crashed out of the Qatar Open on Thursday, losing his quarterfinal match to Maria Sakkari. Now, the top seed Swiatek fell short after a revitalized Sakkari, who rolled back the years as she clawed her way to a nervy 2-6, 6-4 and a 7-5 victory. The 30-year-old Greek won her first 3 career meetings with the young Swiatek, but the last of those victories came in 2021, and this is what she had to say after her win.
I mean, I'm speechless because it's been a while since I had, a big win like today. I'm just, when you drop in the rankings and you're not playing good tennis, you start, doubting yourself, and you're thinking that you are never going to beat those players again. So, it's a huge process that you have to, go through in your head that, you can do it. And, last year in the second round here against her, I was not confident. I was not believing in myself. And this year, it's different. I have to say, I feel I feel a lot better.
Meanwhile, Victoria Mboko took a big step towards entering the top 10 in the WTA rankings for the very first time after the Canadian teenager stunned Australian Open champion Elena Rybakina in the quarterfinals of the Qatar Open. The 19-year-old battled to a 7-5, a 4-6, 6-4 win in Thursday's quarterfinal in Doha to snap twice Grand Slam champion Elena Rybakina's 9-match winning run. Mboko started the 2025 season ranked outside the top 300 and is now ranked 13th in the world. She became the youngest ever player since Serena Williams to beat 4 major winners in a tournament en route to claiming last year's Canadian Open in Montreal. Mboko plays former French Open champion Jelena Ostapenko in the Doha semi-finals later today, where a win will confirm her top 10 debut on Monday. It's 11:35 a.m. Central African time, and that's a wrap of your morning sports news right here on Channel Africa. For any sports stories you'd like to share with us, do send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us. The newsroom line is +27 11714 4459. Have a great sporting weekend. For Channel Africa Sport, I am Musibudi Makura.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective. We are on Open Views Audio Bouquet. Channel 628.
Africa, voici Abedi.
Oui, c'est moi.
Abedi est un passionné de musique dans l'âme. Il a un goût pour toutes sortes de musique et passe ses journées à écouter Channel Africa.
J'aime beaucoup la musique africaine.
Ok. Devinez quoi? Channel Africa veut aider Abedi et les mélomanes du monde entier à découvrir encore plus de musique incroyable. C'est pourquoi Channel Africa appelle les artistes africains à soumettre leur musique. Chers artistes, n'oubliez pas de nous fournir toutes vos informations pertinentes à l'email adresse musique@channelafrica.co.za. Les soumissions sont votre chance d'être entendues, mais elles ne garantissent pas une playlist. Toutes les soumissions seront soigneusement examinées pour voir si elles répondent aux exigences de notre station. Channel Africa, la perspective africaine.
Thank you, Musibudi. Let's move on and get our latest in business with Chandu Kolikeke.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Thank you, Palesa. Good morning. Ghana cuts its farm gate cocoa price paid to farmers, aligning it with the international market to spur more demand, and announced a new financing model for bean purchases amid a raft of other measures aimed at supporting farmers following the plunge in global cocoa prices. The world's second biggest cocoa producer has been struggling to pay farmers as global cocoa demand has fallen sharply, leading global prices to halve over the course of the year to 2-year lows of around 4,000 a metric ton. Ghana's farm gate price, set annually by market regulator Cocoa Board, was nearly $5,300, which has depressed demand from international traders, leaving farmers unpaid. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has declared foot and mouth disease a national disaster. The economic impact of the disease on the economy has been significant, with the disease causing a 26% drop in beef exports last year. Ramaphosa says the entire cattle herd in the country will be vaccinated against the disease. He says this will require 28 million vaccines, and these will be centrally administered.
The cattle industry today is facing one of the worst outbreaks of foot and mouth disease our country has ever experienced. This disease is damaging our economy, resulting in export bans, trade restrictions, and the devastation of herds. We have classified foot and mouth disease as a national disaster and will be mobilizing all necessary capabilities within the state to deal with this crisis.
After global mining investors discuss billion-rand deals in Cape Town, South Africa this week, a gathering at St. George's Cathedral is exposing the environmental and social impact often left out of the corporate narrative. The 17th Alternative Mining Indaba serves as a direct challenge to the industry, insisting that the extraction of the country's wealth must finally serve the people. The Alternative Mining Indaba is headlined this year by the 100-year debt campaign, which demands reparations from mining giants for a century of community dispossession. Spokesperson Hassan Logat.
Mining has a history in our country of over 150 years. So that means we're going to the colonial period, we're going to apartheid, and that for years people have been moved without any participation. It has not improved dramatically under our new progressive government. This means that we have no real vote, no real say to say yes or no to mining. It gets imposed upon us. Many of our townships, Indian, colored and African, we're looking at mine dumps or the dirt, the waste of mines. So this is the compensation we want, but ultimately it's beyond financial compensation.
A major South African bank has launched a dedicated solution for the country's 11 million stokvel members. The aim is to formalize and digitize the multi-billion rand informal savings sector. A stokvel is an informal, community-based savings clubs or credit union. Members contribute a fixed monthly amount, which is then distributed to individuals in rotation or saved collectively for specific shared goals. Himal Pabu is the bank's CEO of Cash Investments.
This new stokvel account is a fully digital account that allows groups to interact together and save together at no cost and no monthly fee, and earns them a great interest rate. It will both help them and strengthen them. And doing this, it allows them a secure way as a group to interact with the bank. And that is one. In the past, groups could not, as a group, come together and see what's happening in a stokvel account. Now a group can come and open and see.
U.S. consumer prices likely maintained a steady pace of increase in January as businesses raised prices at the start of the year, which together with a stabilizing labor market could allow the Federal Reserve to keep interest rates unchanged for a while. Economists say the anticipated rise in the consumer price index will also reflect the continued pass-through from President Donald Trump's broad tariffs. The Labor Department's consumer inflation report will follow on the heels of news this week of an acceleration in job growth in January and the unemployment rate falling to 4.3% from 4.4% in December. Now let's shift our focus to financial indicators. $1 in Nigeria is trading at 1,000 naira 353, Botswana 12.99, Kenya 128 shilling 11, Zambia 18 kwacha 70. BRICS countries $1 in Brazil 5 real 19, Russia 77 rubles 13, India 90 rupee 59, China 6 yuan 90, South Africa 15 rands 90 cents. $1 is 73 pence to the British pound, 84 to the euro. Commodities: gold is trading at $4,956, platinum at $2,018 per ounce. The price of Brent crude oil at $67.42 a barrel. That is all from me. For any business stories you'd like to share with us, please send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za, or you can call us on +27 11 714 4459. For Channel Africa Business, I am Chanduko Ligege.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African perspective. Africa. It's time to plug into the heartbeat of the continent. Tune in to Channel Africa, your go-to radio station that broadcasts in 5 different languages.
L'Afrique du Sud célèbre la journée nationale du
Kabla hujaitwa kwa jina la Double K,
or more of our forests have been destroyed.
Partido Africano da Independência da Guiné.
See, Channel Africa represents every corner of this amazing land. From Lagos to Cape Town, Nairobi to Dakar, we've got you covered with the freshest news, music, and cultures. So, turn up the volume, feel the rhythm. Enjoy the conversation. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Stella Longwe, Pamalonje.
Apa ndikatswiri oyimba wa dziko la Zambia ameneyu ndi Isaac Zulu. Isaac, apa pali nyimbo imene munayimba yomwe ikuti Manda Ambeta. Nyimbo imene imakamba zotani?
Nyimbo imeneyi ndinayimba zona ndikuchoka pasi pa mtima kama kakuona ma situation yena amene amachitika makamaka kukhala chikulisa achinyamata kapena azibambo tita azibambo. So kambiri chimapezeka kuti azibambo bena aliko amene amakhala ndi mitima ankhanza osadziwa mosamalirira banja kuti wachikondi wanga ndifuna kukhala naye mnjira yotani kuti moyo wake ukhale wosangalala. Ndino zimafika pena zoti mwina wachimayi walemedwa nazo nkhanza za munthu wachimuna kapena kuti abambo khala nawo pa nyumba. Ena amafika pa mtima pokamba mawu akuti ine munthu amuna anga pondikwatira ananditenga ku makolo sanatenge musi mwa mtengo. Ndino nisafe chifukwa cha chikondi. Kulibe manda ambeta ngakhale tapita ku manda wina akafa munthu wokwatira kapena osakwatiwa sipamalembeka kuti pafa munthu amene sadalepo mbanja.
Thengatu wamphamvu kuti iyayi azibambo azisamalira bwino akazi osachitira nkhanza komanso azimayemera kuona mazunzo iyayi kulibe manda ambeta.
Malonje, panthawi ya 6 koloko kufikira 7 koloko madzulo. Lowiruka ndi Stella Longwe.
Today, we honor the remarkable power of radio and its broadcasters that allows us to educate, entertain, and inform. While we appreciate the inclusion of AI, we remain loyal to the most powerful form of human engagement, radio. We wish you a happy World Radio Day.
Moving to a world of African music. This is Channel Africa.
Heba tu chakarombo speaker abantwana netumpisi sesiphelele ngicela ukuba bemisa. Heba sijalo Monday yes noma yeno happy just pity cherries abo heba tispiti snogo heba tislulele nhlupheko heba ti baba nkulunkulu ngicela unginike utshwala nama-vibes ansembu ngicela ukuba bemisa. Heba tu chakarombo speaker abantwana netumpisi sesiphelele ngicela ukuba bemisa. Heba sijalo Monday yes noma yeno happy just pity cherries abo heba tispiti snogo heba tislulele nhlupheko athini engithi baba ngicela unkulunkulu zamasana samasana ngicela ukuba bemisa. Ene samasana sona kamasana shamasana pano ngicela ukuba bemisa. Ngicela ukuba bemise man ngicela ukuba promise ngicela ukuba bemise uphinda ukuba promise nkulunkulu ngicela ungiphi ithuba ngijokotele labafana mani ngicela ukuyibhemisa. Siphethe ingane ngathi sidonsa ihook pipe siyena bekamereni sifike sibabhemisa. Bathi jiki fika izishe kasi ziluma kuphela baba mani sicela ukuyibhemisa. Bona umntana kibo speech ufuna izandla buya ngimbambele eduze bese ngiyambhemisa. Push ublova sikolozela ijosi ngathi ngukho breezy dayethosi baba siyayibhemisa. Phakamisela bolovu 7 ekasi ngithi kanjani sengiyayibhemisa. Ebathi cela ukuyibhemisa sengiyayibhemisa ma ebathi cela ukuyibhemisa athi ngibabhlomise ma ibambe kanjali dlale kanjali sengane nobathi dali ngicela ubabhlomise madala side mana siyazi ngikhulume nomalume ukuthi laba babhlomise umjakajaka vela babhlomise speaker mawuthi ababhlomise kuvuka ejini ubabhlomise jakarumba ngena vela babhlomise esho Uchini oh ay sabe tan ay angithi ubaplomise bese wenza kanjani angithi ubaphemise bese ubuza kanjani ubiza uvet cook noma uta kanjani edlala igaset noma side kanjani angithi yekela umageshi adlale ngepayi ngicela ubaphemise sebakhala nge-ani ngicela ubaplomise sebakhala ngekhani angithi ivula cela ubaphemise man ivula vala cela ubaphemise man ivula vala cela ubaphemise man ivula vala cela ubaphemise man angithi ivula vala cela ubaphemise man 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 angithi ivula vala cela ubaphemise
They were just hanging out with us here in studio. We had Jakarumba and Spikiri in the studio just a few minutes ago. This one comes from their latest EP, Pantsula for Life. It's a 5-track EP, and the one you're hearing in the background is titled Bemisa. It's 11:50 Central Africa time.
Your life, your rhythm, your Africa. Channel Africa. Find it for free on Google Play and the Apple App Store. Stay tuned to Channel Africa. Stream us on our new and updated website, channelafrica.co.za. For 60 years, Channel Africa has connected the continent. Celebrate the journey. Celebrate the African perspective.
Téléchargez l'application Channel Africa sur votre Play Store ou Apple Store afin de pouvoir suivre toutes nos émissions en direct de là où vous vous trouvez. Channel Africa, la perspective africaine.
Africa Update on Channel Africa with Lulu Kabu.
South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa has informed UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres that South Africa will withdraw its troop contribution to MONUSCO, the UN peacekeeping mission in the Democratic Republic of Congo, after nearly 27 years of involvement. Defense expert Dean Wingren, what are the main security implications of South Africa withdrawing troops from MONUSCO, and why now?
South Africa has been part of the MONUSCO mission since it was established in 1999 and is South Africa's longest running peacekeeping and peace enforcement mission. So it's not something to be taken lightly when the President says that he's unilaterally withdrawing from the mission. Why now is the question. Well, the MONUSCO mission has always been intended to be terminated initially at the end of 2025, and then it was extended to the end of this year. So with the funding crisis within the UN generally, there's less funds for these peacekeeping missions, and hence the UN has had to cut back on the various contributing countries and equipment.
Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, 12 to 1 p.m. Central African Time. Get set and be ready to go. On the Move with Palesa and Benjamin Moshatama.
Happy World Radio Day, Lulu.
Well, happy World Radio Day to you too.
Thank you.
Who are your favorite, or let's say one, who is your favorite radio legend?
Sure.
Just one. Make it female even. Make it better.
Radio legend, female. Any station.
Any station, any country.
Wow. I've got quite a few.
Just one.
But the thing is, some of them are still on radio. Some
Okay.
of them have left radio.
Okay.
But it's not whether it's presenting just, even newsreaders.
Yes, yes.
Back then, she was known as Ethel Malindi.
Oh,
And
she was
currently
awesome.
she's Ethel Nyembe.
Oh, yes.
And she's an executive at one of the big
Yes.
institutions. I beg your pardon.
I remember her.
But she was one of the reasons why I wanted to be on radio.
That's
as
a good
young
choice.
girl.
That's a good choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant newsreader.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, Lulu. What can we expect? I'm sure you'll be also celebrating World Radio Day.
We will be celebrating World Radio Day, and our question for today is: what does radio mean to you as an individual, wherever you are?
Sure.
And also we're focusing on, the heavier side of things, the floods, the impact of the floods. Cyclone Geza making landfall, and it's worrying. Madagascar going through a crisis, and Southern Africa as a whole. We've really seen the the worst in terms of flooding, especially countries like Mozambique. Even in South Africa, we've had major challenges. So we'll be focusing on that and unpacking a lot of that, and also just the impact of the financial crunch and what is being seen in with the children's SOS, Save the Children, and how they're dealing with not having enough funding for children. So, and the impact this has on children, just instability in their countries, and a lot is happening. That's why I said there's the lighter side with World Radio and just the heavier side, and what radio means to people, and because honestly speaking, present day today, there are people who don't have access to radio. Yeah. We can think from a privileged seat, but honestly and realistically, there are people who are still struggling. So, and radio is a very easy platform in terms of listening and getting as much
accessibility.
Accessibility. Those little pocket radios.
Yes.
Remember those? Yeah.
Those were cool.
Those were cool, and I think they're still around.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So all of that and more coming up on Africa Update.
All right, we're getting out of here, and it's been a good day, a good World Radio Day, especially alongside you, Pali.
Oh, thank you so much. Happy World Radio Day, Benji.
Thank you.
It's been such a pleasure.
It's been a journey.
Have yourself a great day. Happy World Radio Day to you. Continue to listen to Channel Africa. The Africa Update is coming up.
Wonderful is what you are to me. It's you I see in my dreams every day, and I pray for you, Queen of my life. You are so beautiful, Mama. You're beautiful. Emi wa mama kan, talere yeah. Mama mi o roju ri. That is why I'm loving you. Nítorí ọmọ ó jìyà nílé ọkọ. Mama mi ò rojú rí. That is why I'm loving you. La la la. Oh, you're beautiful. Oh, you're beautiful. Oh yeah, la la la. Oh, you're beautiful. Oh, you're beautiful. Eba mi kira fún mama mi. Orisha bi kya o. Kò sí láyé. Eba mi kira fún mama mi. Orisha bi kya o. Kò sí láyé. Oh yeah, la 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 la. Oh, you're beautiful. Oh yeah, la 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 la. Oh, you're beautiful. Whoa, woman, there is no one like you. Oh. Woman, there is no one like you. Nítorí ọmọ ó jìyà nílé ọkọ. Màmá mi ò rojú rí. That is why I'm loving you. Nítorí ọmọ ó jìyà nílé ọkọ. Màmá mi ò rojú rí. And that is why I'm loving you. La 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 la. La 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 la. Oh, you're beautiful. Oh, you're beautiful. Oh yeah, la 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 la. Oh, you're beautiful. Oh, you're beautiful. abamikira fuma mami Orisha bikyao kosilae abamikira fuma mami Orisha bikyao kosilae oya la 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 That's why you're beautiful oh yeah la 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 and that's why I'm loving you. And that's why I'm loving you.
A century ago, it was just a signal. Today, it's radio and AI, still connecting the world, one voice at a time. On Channel Africa, the African perspective.
It is midday, and this is Africa Update coming to you live from Johannesburg in South Africa on Channel Africa from an African perspective. I'm Luke Boo. A lot coming up in the next hour. But first to the news.